When we come back, time to get the engines fired on Championship Saturday. Green flag for the title race in the Xfinity Series. It's coming up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship racing at the Phoenix Raceway. For tonight's race, 200 laps, 200 miles will be our scheduled distance, 45 laps in stages 1 and 2, and we will finish things off in stage 3 with 110 laps. Very similar stage splits compared to all the other 200 lap races, many of them through the NASCAR Xfinity Series season this year and even in previous years as well. Before we go through the starting lineup for today's race, news had broken not long before the start of tonight's stream, and I actually didn't even see this until like maybe 5 minutes before the stream was going to start. They did mention something over the broadcast as well. Unfortunately, I had the mic muted during that portion before the national anthem, so I apologize for that. But unfortunate, tragic passing, Bobby Allison has. We have lost Bobby Allison, I should say, sometime earlier today, apparently. So sad news to hear. 86 years old, former NASCAR champion, Hall of Famer of the sport, top 10 on the all-time wins list. Definitely one of the greatest to ever strap those seatbelts tight inside a race car. And not just, motorsports history, but or NASCAR history, but motorsports history, just to be the best and one of the top, obviously, motorsports in America. Definitely sad to hear that. On the somber note, we are getting ready to go racing here for today's race, and we'll go through that starting lineup as you see on screen. William Sawalich qualifies on the pole for the first time in his NASCAR Xfinity Series career, just making his third career start. He will be running that 19 car full time next season for JGR, so trying to get a good run before the season's out this year. And other JGR driver Sheldon Creed also on the front row for this one. He does have the most top fives of any other driver this season, tied for the most at least, so we'll see if he can break that tie today. Riley Herbst and Chandler Smith will end up lining up in row 2. Chandler Smith also another driver who is tied with Creed for the top fives list this season, as well as top tens for that matter. And JGR definitely showing out in qualifying today, not just in the Xfinity Series side, but Truex in the Cup race qualifying on the pole. Austin Hill, highest qualifying driver of those in the Championship 4. He'll be starting 5th with his teammate Jesse Love in row 3. Row 4 for Cole Custer, Sam Mayer. Cole Custer also driving for the Drivers' Championship tonight, but not the owner's title for the Double Zero. As far as row 5 goes, AJ Allmendinger and Parker Retzlaff. AJ, the third Championship 4 competitor this weekend. Matt DiBenedetto, Anthony Alfredo make up row number 6. Row 7 for Daniel Dye, Stephen Parsons. Sammy Smith and Jeb Burton make up row 8. Row 9 for SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen and Jeffrey Earnhardt. Josh Williams, Ryan Ellis in row 15. Row 10. Connor Zilic is going to be making another start in the 88. Of course, he'll be full-time Xfinity Series racing next year. He starts inside of row 11. Jeremy Clements to the outside. Ryan Sieg, Dylan Lupton in row number 12. Row 13 for Blaine Perkins and Leland Honeyman. Dawson Cram and Brennan Poole in row 14. Row 15, Kyle Sieg and Patrick Emmerly. In row 16, it'll be Parker Kligerman and Josh Bilicki. Kligerman making his last full-time Xfinity Series start here today. Brandon Jones and Joey Gase will make up row 17. Row 18 for Greg Van Olsen, Garrett Smithley. And you got 2 Championship 4 competitors for the owners, 1 for the driver standings back in the final row of the field. Justin Allgaier, Eric Almirola, both in backup cars for this race following a crash that took place yesterday in practice. 44 car Brendan Poole had an engine expire, was leaking fluids out on the racetrack. In the process of that happening, the caution flag had not came out at that point in time. Several drivers were slipping up into the outside wall in turns 1 and 2. Obviously, 2 of those being Justin Allgaier and Eric Almirola. Significant damage to both of their primary cars that they are both in a backup, so they did not qualify earlier. They are starting at the tail end of the field, and very minimal practice laps for both of those cars, but at least they were able to unload those cars during the full 50-minute session. The crash had transpired early in the practice session, so the teams were able to get the backup cars ready, get the seats fitted enough, and allowed for those teams to at least make a couple laps, making sure that there wasn't any hiccups. But as far as the lap times go, left a little to be desired. We'll see what kind of adjustments they were able to make overnight prior to the race here today. Shout outs to those of you watching in the stream right now. We got Earl Arnold Jr., Michael Turner, Mark Witkowski, Bronny 20 Forever, Ty, Wade, JoJo, Billy Libraries and Arts. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. You guys seem to be the first in the chat down below. Our like goal tonight is going to be 100 likes per usual for these NASCAR Xfinity Series race live streams. We have hit our goal in the last 2 streams now. Our Cup qualifying stream, which took place not that long ago, about an hour before the start of this race here today, that wrapped up. And obviously last night we hit our like goal during the Truck Series race as well. 2 more live commentary streams. This is our final for the Xfinity Series. And our Cup Series coverage tomorrow will begin at 2:30 p.m. Eastern with our pre-race. Here's the command to fire engines.
Please welcome Xfinity Reward members, Darlene McBride and Tiffany Gibson. Phoenix, are you ready? Hi, I'm Darlene from Philadelphia. Phoenix, make some noise!
They're already firing engines up as they were in the middle of the long. Oh, geez, that was great. That was great. Firing engines up in the background before they actually gave the command to fire engines in middle of the long speech. Hear them saying, drivers, start your engines, as engines were already fired. Well, that was a little off tune. David Conley, John Draper, Spy Man, thanks for tuning into the stream as well. Bobby Allison had a streak where he led in 39 consecutive races. Did not know that. I didn't catch any of the pre-race prior to the start of this Xfinity Series race. I was actually watching the end of my Michigan Wolverines game against the Indiana Hoosiers. So that's why I didn't even learn of this news until like minutes before the start of the stream, which I'm sure might have been a similar case for a lot of you guys listening or watching along with us. Bubba Davis, thanks for tuning in. Pulling for Fords. Yeah, my pick is Cole Custer tonight. I mentioned during the qualifying stream about that crash earlier, and I obviously mentioned it going through the starting lineup as well. The practice crash that took out the primary cars for that of Eric Almirola and Justin Allgaier. Coming into the weekend, I was actually leaning towards Allgaier winning the Drivers' Championship and then Eric Almirola winning the Owner's title, but now I don't think that that's necessarily going to be the case. Now, Cole Custer's only racing for the Drivers' Championship tonight, not the Owner's title. So, although I think Cole Custer will win the Drivers' Championship, I do think the Owner's title will be won by a different car. And honestly, considering the speed that JGR showed in qualifying, has shown in practice so far this weekend, I think even with a backup car, I'm still taking the 20 team to win the Owner's title. So, gonna go with Eric Almirola from the back to the front to win this race here today. And I'm taking Cole Custer for the Drivers' Championship for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So those are my race predictions. Bold predictions. You can vote for who you think is going to win the race in the chat poll. I only have the drivers poll up there, but if you think Almirola is going to win the race, you can just let me know in the chat, or obviously put it in anytime throughout the course of the race today. I'll try to look at the chat as much as I possibly can, as always. Michigan actually went. No, they did not. Indiana's still undefeated, 10-0. They made it a lot closer than they probably should have. I went to start the qualifying stream, and they were down 17-3, and then the stream came to an end. I'm like, oh man, it's 17-15. They're still in the game. About 7 minutes were left at that point. Ended up losing 20-15. Well, championship hangover for them this year. Buster Allgaier for the win. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the backup cars are going to look like in the race. I mean, I'm sure Almirola and Allgaier will have decent cars to at least compete. Compared to the other championship 4, I'm sure they'll get up in the top 10 quickly considering the equipment they're in versus most of the rest of the Xfinity Series field. So I'd not be shocked if they charge through the field pretty quickly. But to compete with some of the other top programs in the Xfinity Series for the race win and for the championship, they're going to have to be just a little bit better than good here tonight. Like to see Austin Hill win, but I went with Justin Allgaier. Yeah, you can vote for who you think is going to win. Again, that chat poll will end at the end of stage 2, per usual. Relatively older Championship 4 lineup, by the way, for the Xfinity Series. I think it's actually an older Championship 4 lineup for the Xfinity Series than what we see in the Cup side this weekend. Youngest driver of these Championship 4, I believe, is Cole Custer. "26", I think, is how old Custer is. They're showing it at the bottom of the screen right now, actually. They haven't gotten to him yet. I think I remember seeing the stat line when I was watching practice yesterday, though. On Custer right now. 26? Yeah, that's right. All right, 26. I remember correctly. West Coast native, of course. Trying to go for back-to-back champion, 30 years of age. To be the second youngest of these Championship 4. Allgaier at the age of 38, 42 for AJ Allmendinger. William Benoit, thanks for tuning in. Actually going to be able to watch the race on here? No, there's the visuals are on the CW for copyright reasons. I can't show the actual race. But you'll get to listen to the actual race coverage periodically, and obviously I'll do my commentary throughout the course of this one as well. But realistic flag-to-flag commentary, as usual on these live commentary race streams. Ricky Atkins, Sharitha Cooper, thanks for tuning in. Assuming the Florida Gators are playing right now. I see a Gator comment in the chat. Last chance for Creed to win this year. And in JGR equipment too, so we'll see if he can get it done. Might be the best equipment of his NASCAR career going forward, so see if he can capitalize. See some of the stat line leaders for the NASCAR Xfinity Series drivers who are elected to run for points at least. Did not include any of the Cup regulars that have won races this season on that list, but that'll be scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the course of this one here today. And we'll take a look at the full season point standings while we're still waiting to get things kicked off here tonight. And see where your overall Xfinity Series drivers are running entering this race. As mentioned already, obviously, the Championship 4, Austin Hill, AJ Allmendinger, Cole Custer, and Justin Allgaier. 5th in points coming into this one. Chandler Smith, Sheldon Creed 6th, Jesse Love 7th, Riley Herbst 8th, Sam Mayer 9th, Parker Kligerman looking for a top 10 points finish in 10th. Sammy Smith in 11th, Shane Van Gisbergen in 12th, last of the playoff drivers. Ryan Sieg is 13th, Brandon Jones 14th, Anthony Alfredo in 15th, Brandon Poole 16th, Eric Almirola is actually 17th in points despite only running 13 races out of the 32 so far this season. 3 wins for him. He's in the top 5 in laps led on this season and stage wins, despite not running the full schedule. Impressive what he's done in that 20 car, and if he was running the full season, just imagine how many wins he'd probably have. Josh Williams, 18th in points, Jeb Burton, 19th, Parker Retzlaff in 20th, Jeremy Clements, 21st, Leland Honeyman, 22nd, Ryan Ellis, 23rd. Kyle Sieg has missed 2 races this season, is 24th in points, same for Kyle Weatherman in 25th. Few extra races than that missed this year for Matt DiBenedetto. He's missed 5 races, he's 26th in points. Blaine Perkins has missed 1 race, he is 27th in the standings. And that is all the drivers that are running full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this season. In the case of Almirola, part-time, but that much better in the point standings. Impressive season that he's had so far. Alrighty. Allgaier starting 37, deep in the field. Again, crashed in practice. Backup car for him and Almirola. Almirola, through his Cup career, his best tracks were these flatter ovals. He had a win at New Hampshire late in his career at SHR. Some of his better runs, especially later in his career from what I remembered, not just the New Hampshire. Had a top 5 at Gateway in 2022. He also ended up having some good runs here at Phoenix, Martinsville. He swept Martinsville, for instance, in the Xfinity Series this season. And here we are turned around another flat track. Obviously starting back in the pack, I don't think is as much of an issue for him as it is being in the backup car, because, again, the lap times that both Allgaier and Almirola ran in practice yesterday, the minimal laps that they had with the backup car in the final 10 minutes of practice, not as quick as the primary, but they're going to try to have the setup as close as possible to that of the primary before the start of the race. They had all night to work on it. Practice took place yesterday rather than on the same day as the race, which we would usually see in the Xfinity series. So they did get those extra 24 hours to work on it. So again, the driver standings. Championship 4, Austin Hill, Cole Custer, AJ Allmendinger, Justin Allgaier. And the swap out for the owner standings, Cole Custer and the 00 team not running for the owner's championship. That would be where the 20 team is in, along with the 16-7 and the 21. Field has been given the 1-to-go signal, so they are going green this time by. And as they're doubled up on the front row for the start, William Sawalich has taken the inside lane for this initial start. EWR, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, unfortunately, RIP to Bobby Allison. We did announce that earlier in the stream, towards the beginning of it. They may mention something over the broadcast as well before the end of this race as well. Again, visual purposes, the race is on the CW, and that will be the case for the next 7 years going forward after this season as well. For those of you that don't know, haven't tuned into a stream all season, the raw feed going to be a little bit ahead of what the CW has been. For some reason, it seems like their feed has been more delayed than like an NBC or USA Network, Fox, and so on throughout the year. So there may be a little bit of a time-lapse difference between the intervals that you see on screen on a lap-by-lap basis. But we're going to do our best here throughout the course of this one to bring you the action as always. Final NASCAR Xfinity Series race in 2024 is underway. The JGR Toyotas lead us to the green. And we are racing. Again, 200-lap, 200-mile event under the lights of Phoenix. And already 3 wide for about 3rd place entering the first turn. Austin Hill well down on the apron, trying to take advantage as the leader of the Championship 4 battle. And race leader off of turn 2 is actually going to be the 2nd place starter, Sheldon Creed. Riley Herbst into the back of the 19 car, center of the corner, lost a little ground now. Nearly made contact with them as he had a quick closing rate on entry through 3 and 4. Lost ground on exit, may get passed down towards turn 1 for that spot by Chandler Smith. They battle for 3rd. Creed leads the opening lap of the race and is out to a couple tenths of a second lead over the 19. Off the exit of turn 2, still 2 and 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Moves being made. And Creed leads lap 2 as well. Couple drivers still going down to the apron through the dog leg. See their cars bottoming out as the splitter drags on the asphalt. The transition from the banking to the flatness. 8 to 9 degrees of banking through the dog leg on the traditional racing line. 0 degrees down on the actual flat apron part. Pass for 3rd made entering turn 3 for Chandler Smith. He finally gets by Sawalich. And also Riley Herbst made a pass for 2nd on that lap in 1 and 2 for 2nd place. Herbst is trying to take charge after Sheldon Creed at the front of the field. One Ford's already won a championship this weekend. Ty Majeski in the Truck Series last night. So we'll see here tonight if Ford can go 2 for 2 to start the weekend. Then they'll have a 50% chance tomorrow with 2 of them in the Final 4 for the Cup Series. Custer working on Jesse Love. Battles him for, it looks like, 7th place on track. Works to the inside of Love. Love with a slightly better drive off on the exit of turn 4. And now turns 1 and 2. Custer going to try the higher arcing line. Love with a little diamond cut through the center of the corner. He was down in the apron in the second half of the turn rather than the first half. Getting more of a straight line drive off to keep Custer at bay behind him. Love's car sliding through 3 and 4, but still pulls Custer yet again. So your championship 4 on lap 6. In the early going for the driver's side of things, you got Austin Hill in 5th. Cole Custer in 8th. AJ Allmendinger's already fallen back to 19th. And Justin Allgaier's up to 23rd from the back of the pack. Eric Almirola's in 26th as well. And Riley Herbst is going for the lead on lap 7, side by side, through the dogleg, cuts to the apron, but not all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll have a better arc entering turn 1 as a result. But Herbst is on the inside, outside of Sheldon Creed. 2/3 of his car, if not more, down to the apron below that yellow line through 1 and 2. Creed slipped up on corner exit, got a bit loose, still side drafting down the back straightaway. Has the outside lane still through 3 and 4. And side by side for an entire lap now, as Chandler Smith closes in 3rd place behind the top 2. Nose out in front for Herbst as they enter turn 1. Second lap in a row now, they've been side by side on this end of the racetrack. Herbst a little wider line than he had through the center of the corner. Chandler Smith goes all the way down to the bottom. 3 wide nearly on corner exit. Herbst wiggled. Chandler Smith to the inside of him for second. Creed holds on for the lead for at least another lap. Creed has led the first 8 laps at the line now. Herbst still holds clear off turn 4 for the second consecutive lap on Chandler Smith. And he's going to have to re-attack on the 18 of Creed in front of him. Saddleditch has lost a little ground from the top 3, even with them battling. He's now a second off the lead. And Austin Hill another second or so back in 5th behind him. Good little battle we have in the opening laps. Herbst sails it in on corner entry into 3, again to the inside of Creed. Creed washes up the track just a little bit. Corner exit. Side by side again. Creed leads that lap of the line. Deeper onto the apron goes the cut through the dogleg for Riley Herbst. Nearly clear entering turn number 1. Center of the corner is clear. Slides up Riley Herbst to the lead for the first time tonight. And Chandler Smith quickly to the inside for second on Sheldon Creed down the back straightaway. Side drafts the left rear corner panel. Enters turn 3. Door to door for the lead, or for second, excuse me, at this point in time. And nose to nose as they cross the stripe. Again, first lap led for Riley Herbst that last time by at the line. We'll see if Chandler Smith can complete this pass. Still looks on the inside of the racetrack. It does look like the 18 is not quite as steady through the center of 1 and 2. You can really see that car wiggling around a lot more than the 2 drivers who have been working around him out of the get-go in this race. Justin Allgaier spent a little bit of time behind the 45 car of Stephen Parsons trying to make a pass in the middle of traffic. And Allgaier's actually just passed AJ Allmendinger in the last couple laps as well. AJ's fallen all the way back to, looks like 18th. 18th place for Allmendinger. Allgaier in 17th, 1 spot ahead of him. And Eric Almirola still a few positions behind both of these drivers in 21st. Lap 14 this time by the line. Another pass made for Allgaier. Gets by the 28 of Ryan Sieg. 4th consecutive week we've seen Sieg in the 28 car versus the 39, which he ran for most of the year. Trying to help out the owner's point side of things with that car number. In the closing races, Chandler Smith's been side by side for second with Sheldon Creed for about 3 laps now. Finally clears him off turn 4 for that spot. We'll see if Creed tries to crossover. He had a big run on the exit of turn 4, decides just to stay in line behind him. And Chandler Smith will now try to pull away and see if he can run down Herbst, who's out to about a 1.5 second lead. 1.6 seconds that last time by at the line to be exact. Caution free through the first 15 laps. Again, Herbst your race leader. Chandler Smith 1.6 seconds back in second. Sheldon Creed is 2.4 seconds off the lead in third. William Sawalich is in fourth. He's 2.9 seconds back. 3.2 seconds off the lead, Austin Hill in fifth. Sam Mayer in sixth, 5.5 seconds back. 5.7 seconds off the lead for Jesse Love in seventh. Cole Custer in eighth, 5.9 seconds back. Connor Zilic in ninth, 6.1 seconds off the lead. And Daniel Dyes in 10th, 6.8 seconds off the race leader, Riley Herbst. That is the top 10 in the intervals between them. Lap 16 of 200 and lap 16 of 45 in stage 1. Again, the other championship 4 drivers outside the top 10. Justin Allgaier up to 14th. AJ Allmendinger another spot better in 17th. And Eric Almirola is now up to 18th just behind him for the owner's title. So Justin Allgaier definitely the quickest of the two. Has started in that last row between him and Almirola from the start of the race. Lisa Jones, thanks for tuning in. She's pulling for the 7. Mark Witkowski, I don't know if I shouted you out or not yet. Appreciate you tuning in also. As well as everybody else who I may not have been able to shout out in the early going of the stream, but great appreciation to all of you tuning in throughout the course of the season for these live commentary streams as we wind things down to a close. Again, our Cup Series coverage tomorrow night at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the channel. Hope to see you for then, of course. First commercial break on the CW for the Xfinity Series race action, but we'll stay right here for the current moment. 27 laps to go in stage 1 now. 1.9 second lead for Herbst. So Chandler Smith, when he initially got to second, was 1.5 seconds back. So he's lost about 0.4 of a second over the last 3 or 4 laps. It's about 1/10 of a second or so a lap he's giving up. That last lap, he was about 0.05 of a second off of Herbst's lap time. We'll see if maybe Herbst starts to cliff the closer we get to the end of the stage, because maybe burning his tires up a little bit more earlier in the run. Chandler Smith did have a slightly harder time getting by Creed compared to what Herbst did, so he could have used his tires up a little more in that pass for second. Austin Hill, by the way, is now up to 4th as he passes William Sawalich through turns 3 and 4 on this lap. Got underneath him through 1 and 2. And he's not that far off of Sheldon Creed in front of him. Creed's already 4.1 seconds off the lead and is not running great lap times. Creed, one of the slowest cars of those in the top 10 that last lap. Outside of Sawalich and Austin Hill, who were side by side for a brief moment, were the only two that were slower than him. But Hill should have a chance to get to 3rd here pretty quickly. Seen RCR win championships at the Xfinity Series level, even in recent years. Tyler Reddick, the last champion for that series for this organization. That took place back in 2019. First championship 4 run for Austin Hill in this 21. Trying to make the most of it. 4 positions ahead of Custer right now, which is who he's racing for the championship at this point in time, although Allgaier, the biggest mover of the race, is up to 11th after starting in 37th. May not get to Hill by the end of stage 1, especially if it stays caution-free through the first stage, but he's definitely putting up a fight. Connor Zilich is up to 9th also during this current green flag run after starting mid-pack. And Matt DiBenedetto is up to 12th place, also having a decent run starting middle of the field tonight. Almirola up to 14th, another one of those big movers starting in the last row. AJ Allmendinger, who qualified in row 5 for this one, unfortunately dropped back to as far as 18th in the early going. He's up to 17th, and he settled in from there 15 seconds off the race lead. Chandler Smith now 2.2 seconds back as he continues to lose time to Herbst. Sheldon Creed over 5 seconds back at 3rd as he tries to hold up Austin Hills within a half a second behind him towards the front of the field.
Then what they brought in the spring as well, they are in the ballpark. Andy Street told me for what they need here today. Right now, the team, including is telling him to keep being smart and do what he continues to do as he's in that 4th position.
Second among the championship 4, running in 8th position, Cole Custer. During the break, the car in front of him, Jesse Love, raced him a little too close for comfort. Listen.
Yeah, you're gonna work.
That's Austin Hill's teammate right now in front of Cole Custer. Cole's car is just a little bit tight at the initial part of this race, Marty.
So far, plus 12 for AJ Allmendinger. Actually, now plus 11 because Sammy Smith goes around him. AJ Allmendinger saying on the radio, I just do not have the grip that some of these other cars have. He was able to gain some spots to get up and was trying to keep up with Justin Allgaier. They were through the field together for quite a while. And AJ Allmendinger had this to say about the 7 car. Listen in.
They're going for rolling down there, 5-4.
So, Jim, sometimes you can do play-by-play of other cars when you're behind the wheel, and that's what Allmendinger was saying about Justin Allgaier. And by the way, welcome to the top 10, Justin Allgaier, plus 27 spots. Jeff, I don't care how good your car is, that's impressive this early in the race. Clearly, Allgaier has something to contend with tonight.
There were a lot of questions when I visited with this team before the race. They were confident, but also tons of unknowns with this backup car. I felt better about it than they did. We watched practice, and I'm like, the car's pretty good. And they're like, we don't know. There was a lot of apprehension, but so far, I don't know that they could have a better start to this race. I think it's everything that they needed. I think it's giving them confidence. He's getting a great understanding of what this car needs to do better, Steve, and he's relaying that information to Jim so that he can make the right changes at the first stop. I went and checked on Jim during qualifying, walked pit road, saw the championship floor. And I've known Jim for years, and you can almost see the stress. So I give him the old, hey, man, good luck. Do me a favor, enjoy it. And he kind of had a smirk. He looked at me and goes, I'm trying. I'm trying to enjoy it. It's just, you don't envision this car you worked month on wrecking 3 laps into practice in somebody else's oil, right? So I think he was kind of coming around, but you could see the weight of the weekend kind of weighing on him. Yeah.
People always ask, wasn't it fun driving a race car? No, it's exhilarating.
Chandler Smith starting to cut into that lead a little bit, about 1.3 seconds back that last time by at the start-finish line. He was as many as about 2.2 to 2.3 seconds back, so he started to eat into it. That last lap, he was 0.4 quicker than the race leader, Riley Herbst. As they continue on now in the later going to stage 1, Herbst is working through lap traffic currently. Has lap 5 cars at the tail end of the field. Dawson Cram in 33rd. That last time by was the last car in the lead lap. Still caution free in this one of about 15 minutes from the initial start of the race to where we're at right now. It's the second time in the broadcast already they showed the practice crash for Justin Allgaier. Second time they've showed it in the first 31 laps. But he is on the move. And that backup car definitely doesn't seem to be acting like a backup car. And seems almost as good, if not better, than the primary car. Probably not better, but the way it's looking in comparison to the rest of the field right now. And again, in comparison to Eric Almirola specifically, who started at the tail end of the field with him, he's still 3 positions higher than him in the running order. Interval-wise, he's about a full 2 seconds ahead of the 20 as of right now. Like those are the two to really compare with each other, the speed that they've had cutting through the field, because they were in the very same circumstance. Both at the tail end of the field, both in backups. Justin Allgaier so close to winning the spring race earlier this season, ended up blowing a tire in the final handful of laps of that race while leading, and had a pretty big lead at that. A few seconds at least back to the second place car. And was in no question of not winning the race outside of a late caution. Unfortunately, he was the late caution. Ended up with a poor finish and a DNF, one of his many that he has had so far in this NASCAR Xfinity Series season. Justin Allgaier 6 DNFs on the year, most of the Championship 4 drivers. And the only drivers of the 12 playoff fielded drivers in the Xfinity Series that had the same or more DNFs, Riley Herbst was 6 as well, and his teammate Sam Mayer had 9. Up to this point on the season through the first 32 races. 12 to go, another side-by-side commercial break on the CW. Allgaier looking to make a pass on Jesse Love for 8th through turns 1 and 2. All clear, corner exit, another spot gained. And next position ahead of him is Cole Custer in 7th. This could put him to 2nd in the current championship running. Austin Hill is still in 4th. He caught Sheldon Creed, but since catching him, has not been able to really get alongside of him, battling for 3rd. And speaking of the word battle, Chandler Smith is about a second off the lead still to that of race leader Riley Herbst. He's consistently cutting into it, and now they've been trading lap times back and forth over the last several laps. That last lap, Herbst was actually almost a full 10th quicker than that of Chandler Smith. Kevin Stolman, thanks for tuning in. Finally cut the race on your television. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, comparison lap times, that last lap, Justin Allgaier ran a 29.603. That was 0.2 quicker than Riley Herbst at the front of the field, who ran a 29.827. Eric Almirola that last lap ran a 30.0, which is pretty even with a lot of the other cars in the back half of the top 10 outside of the 7 of Allgaier. 30.034, now 065. The last 2 laps for Almirola, who is in 11th. So Justin Allgaier, another 29.6 as well. 29.698 to another 29.8 for Herbst. Smith, who is a little bit quicker that last lap, 29.7, but still the fastest car on the track is that of Justin Allgaier with just 8 laps to go in stage 1. Might be the one to beat if he can get that track position at the front of the field, and he's definitely shaping himself up to do so, and he definitely could pick up a couple more positions here before the end of stage 1 as well. Well within sight of that of both Custer and Sawalich in front of him. Custer going to make the pass for 6, entering turns 3 and 4 on the 19 as we speak. Sam Mayer has climbed up into the top 5 in recent laps as well, past Sawalich a couple laps prior to that. We've got some racing going on. Get some of these faster cars up towards the front of the field, and we'll get to see where they are compared to the cars that have led it for most of this first stage. 0.7 of a second difference at the front of the field between Riley Herbst and Chandler Smith for the race lead. 0.4 quicker that last lap for Chandler Smith. He gained a big chunk on that of Herbst. 28 cars on the lead lap as we stand. Jeremy Clements is the first car, 1 lap down in 29th. Almirola just made a pass on Connor Zilic to break into the top 10 for the first time today. Up to 10th now for Almirola. And Allgaier to the inside of Custer now for 6th. Entering turns 3 and 4. Looking to complete the pass and does. Corner exit. Sawalich gains a little bit more ground back on Custer, but not going to quite be able to get back underneath him and follow the line of the 7. Allgaier 8.9 seconds off the lead. Don't think he's going to catch Sam Mayer. He's about a second and a half behind him with 4.5 laps left in the stage. Closest battles up in the top 10 would be the battle for 3rd between Creed and Hill, still within a half a second of each other. Now 0.6 of a second back in the lead is Chandler Smith on Riley Herbst. Creed and Hill are over 6 seconds behind the leaders in 3rd and 4th. And the championship 4 drivers for the driver's side of things running 4th, 6th, 7th, and 18th now. Again, Almirola for the owner standings in 10th. Keeping you updated. Obviously, the P in parentheses indicates that that driver's still in the playoffs. That's why you see the P on the 20, because they're in the owner's standings over the 00 team. So there'll be 5 of them for this Xfinity race. Sawalich has caught back up to Custer again. Seems to be catching him on corner entry, but he's losing that time on corner exit as a result. Custer getting the drive off, so Walt's not able to get the drive off needed to stay with him down the straightaways, despite running a slightly wider arcing line the last several corners. Justin Allgaier getting by 38, I believe. 28, Ryan Sieg. Ryan Sieg is dropping back through the field quite a bit for him to be a lap down now. Wonder if they got an issue on that car. He scored in 35th currently. Herbst held up in lap traffic trying to put Brennan Poole a lap down and could not stay alongside of him off of turn 4. Chandler Smith is within about 3 car lengths behind him entering turn 1. And Poole's blocking the leader entering the corner. Corner exit off of turn 2, side by side between the 44 and the 98. A little bit of a slip up, and here comes Chandler Smith. Smith got blocked a little bit there on the back straightaway with nowhere to go with those two side by side, and Herbst is barely going to be able to hold on. By about a car length or so at the line, Riley Herbst will win stage 1. Chandler Smith 2nd. 3rd for Sheldon Creed. Austin Hill 4th, and Sam Mayer 5th. Justin Allgaier 6th. Cole Custer 7th. William Sawalich 8th. Eric Almirola 9th, and Jesse Love rounds out the top 10. About a 1/10 of a second margin of victory for stage 1 for Riley Herbst, who has led the most laps so far in the early going of this race. 38 laps led for Herbst. First 7 were led by Creed. And 1 lap led for William Sawalich. Actually, no. For some reason, it gives the pole sitter a lap led. because they lead coming to the line to start the race, but he didn't actually lead a lap from the pole. Creed, who started second, led the first 7, as mentioned. And then ended up trading the lead after that for a lap while running side by side for a little more than a lap with Riley Herbst, which is why we are currently at 4 lead changes despite the 2 different drivers that have led. And obviously the first lead change would have been lap 1, going from second to first for Creed. Brendan Poole does get the free pass. He got lapped there in the final corner of the final lap of stage 1, but being the first driver 1 lap down, he'll be back on the lead lap. So we'll have 27 cars at least on the lead lap to begin stage 2. We'll see if any more taking the wave around. And getting the early yellow to begin the next stage. Did I race karts? I actually did. I started off, I raced quarter midgets. I started actually like racing when I was 8. I think when I was 6 was the first time I actually got in it and tested it. And there was like a local dirt track that somebody owned, that, like a go-kart dirt track essentially, that somebody owned but didn't actually hold races, but just kind of left it open to the public to just have people just run laps essentially. So that's where I started making my first laps. But yeah, then when I was 8, I started racing at Sandusky Speedway actually. They have a half-mile asphalt oval there, but they have like a built-in, like, not quarter mile, about a 1/8 mile or so dirt track in the infield of it. And that's where I got my quarter midget racing days. Won my first ever race. I think I actually have the trophy somewhere. I'll have to show that off. I don't know if I've showed any of my trophies off on stream before. Track champion, 1 year. And then when we started going to other tracks and stuff, I really only ran like for a track championship somewhere else a couple different times. But never won another title, unfortunately. But yeah, a lot of fun. Did that for a little bit. Raced some go-karts after that. That's where I get my mention your grandpa got you into it. Yeah, that's where I got my start. I was into racing even before that, but yeah, I never would have thought that I could have done that as early of an age as I did. So yeah, I've been hooked on racing ever since. Since I can remember, but then physically racing, you understand more of it at a younger age, and it leads me into being able to commentate it, I think, as well as I do right now, just because I have obviously I've never driven a stock car before, but I raced from the age of 8 to the age of 19, so I understand it to a pretty great detail, despite not actually racing a stock car, so I can give at least a little bit of information, the basic side of things, without making it overly complicated for everybody watching at home. Martin McElhenney, thanks for tuning in. Got our first pit stops coming up here shortly. Pit road should be open this time by, for fuel purposes, I can get close to the end of stage 2 without pitting. I saw a little over 1.5 seconds of fall off through about the first 30 laps of that first stage green flag run. No cautions for incident in the first stage, so the first caution was the lap 45 stage break. Tim Irvin, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. 2 days in a row, man. I greatly appreciate you. Thanks for having the freed up schedule to be able to tune in all weekend long as well. Like watching other racing stuff, F1, sprint car. I haven't seen as much sprint car racing as I would have liked since I've started this channel, because it is NASCAR oriented and taking place, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. I've only been to a couple of dirt races the last couple of years, but definitely like to get to more in the future.
An 8 front turn in this car. Fairly significant change coming here. There will be a wrench going in the rear window. Air pressure changes as well, Kim.
Hill in that 21, your bottom left of the screen. Overall free set has to be easy on entry and exit on throttle down because it's driving off the right rear. He needs to be tightened up. This isn't going to be a huge change. Looking for an air pressure and possibly a track bar adjustment. They will also give him a piece of tape, Marty, to cover that flashing dash.
AJ Allmendinger said on the radio, we're getting passed by backup cars. Seriously? He said, I have no rear grip and I cannot get back to the gas on corner exit. What an impressive opening stint. An absolute clinic from Justin Allgaier. 37 to 6. He said it's a little bit tight in the center. That's his only issue. He said we're really good. If you can help me there, we'll be even better. But they will lose some spots here on pit road, Rick.
Yeah, the race off of Progressive Pit Road, not what Allgaier wanted. He lost 4 spots on pit road. We talked a little bit about Austin Hill. Sure enough, he gained a few.
All right, so Austin Hill, a very good pit crew all season, if not probably the best pit crew all season long, scored in second place as of right now following that stop. Cole Custer looks to be up a couple on our leaderboard. I think we have to wait for everything to cycle through another lap or so, so we'll give that a little bit of time, but it looks as if it'll be Hill and Custer up a couple. Justin Allgaier loses a few. Obviously had a quick car to get to 7th before the end of the first stage. 10th is where he seems to be for this upcoming restart. Eric Almirola has jumped him in the running order, up 1 spot for Almirola in the pits, up from 9th to 8th. Sam Mayer lost a couple positions, 5th back to 7th. So a lot of changing on the leaderboard up in the top 10 positions through our first pit stop of the night. There were some issues with a lot of the truck teams, especially in that first stop of last night's race, sliding through their box with some maybe sand built up on pit road. I don't think that that's going to be an issue as much the rest of the weekend now that we're multiple races in. And these teams are well aware that that was a problem going into the race last night, so they'll be more acclimated with the possibility that that could have been an issue coming in, trying to prevent it from happening as much as they possibly can. I mean, I grew up racing on dirt, so I've always had an affection for dirt racing. Yeah, I never raced asphalt. I tested it, but I never actually raced competitively. It's 27 cars on the lead lap. Looks like SVG might have had a penalty. I don't know if he was speeding or something on pit road there, but he is now back as the last car in the lead lap. So might have had an issue and a pit penalty for SVG. We'll have to wait on that in a little bit. Come back from the commercial break. We'll get official word perhaps on the situation there.
What an absolutely perfect evening for a championship race for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Phoenix Raceway. And under the lights, just a gorgeous facility. Fans come out in droves to see a champion. Crown is the Choose now is brought to you by Universal Technical Institute. You learn how to turn your passion into a career by training at one of the schools of Universal Technical Institute. And now Riley Herbst has chosen that outside line, and Austin Hill, after a great pit stop, will restart on the inside of row 1. Let's check in with the pit box. And DJ, how about the march to the front by Allgaier and Allmendinger?
Oh, well, impressive that Justin Allgaier did what he did. But also, when you looked at pit crews, Austin Hill and Cole Custer.
Yeah, listen, but we've seen the same thing that most of America's seen, and everybody's sitting in these stands. That's 7 car. 31 other cars have seen him too as he drove by. That's the show right now.
No doubt about it. He picks up 26 spots in 45 laps. What's he going to do starting from 10th? Rick, I think AJ or Allgaier is going to put on a show. Well, we'll see if Allgaier can make the move from 10th up toward the front. You see the Junior Motorsports owners there. There's Dale Jr. and Kelly right to his left as they are enjoying this race. I'm sure it was a little bit difficult for them yesterday after their guy is involved in an accident on the 4th lap.
Yeah, I talked to them before the race down on pit road. I said, "You guys didn't have to make it this interesting," and they said, "Nope, interest in making it this interesting." But they both were confident they could make it happen tonight.
Getting ready for the restart, and again, Austin Hill now on that front row of the championship 4. We'll see what he can do with that clean track in front of him. Riley Herbst racing him hard on the outside as they go into turns 1 and 2. Up the racetrack just a
Oh.
bit there is Austin Hill.
Look at
Oh,
Cole Custer on the
Custer.
outside.
Custer
What a
taking
move.
He takes it from the outside.
3 wide to
It's
the
important
top.
to understand this could be a determining factor late in the restart. Could decide the champion. We see the 7 of Allgaier about 2 or 3 rows back as well.
What a move by Cole Custer to take the lead.
I don't care how many times you watch it. When a car turns left, it cuts the dog leg. It just doesn't look. It's crazy looking.
Sheldon Creed dropping back a little bit after making that move.
Like football fields between the cars.
Yeah. Brent on board giving us this view from Allgaier.
You mentioned the ownership on top of that pit box. Rick Brandt, also a longtime supporter of Justin Allgaier. He's on top of that pit box as well. And a good restart by Allgaier. Picked up 4 spots right there. That's what you have to do, Steve. You have bad pit stop. You can't, if you don't like it, then you just got to go back to work.
And how about now? See Chandler Smith move to the inside of the 7, trying to take that spot away.
Well, Jeff mentioned Fitzpatrick. Great first run, passed all those positions, but he got to kind of take off a little bit easier back in traffic. Now, the top 10, you got to take off a little bit more pace. Once the track is cooling, those are those adjustments that Jeff talked to. You got to continue to make sure your car does what the driver needs.
And you're going against the better cars. I mean, the guys who are running up front are the better car. So you've got to work even harder to try to get by these, right now, 4 cars that are in front of him.
That is a great point, Rick, because you really, Justin Allgaier and that team, they really don't know how their car took off compared to these guys. So you could be a change behind the field in understanding short run speed.
Austin Hill still in front of the 7. And Sam Mayer has moved up there into the 3rd position. Now Riley Herbst putting a little more pressure on Cole Custer on the top of the screen for the lead. And we'll remind you, you don't have to win the race. If you're one of the championship 4, you just have to finish in front of the other 3 as this battle for the lead heats up. Riley Herbst wants to take it back. Herbst has never lost when leading over 30 laps in a race.
Ah,
He's been up
2 for 2.
5 of this one.
Interesting stat line.
I am excited to see the 98 pass the 00 after all the conversation from the Cup race a week ago about how hard everybody was driving. Penalties were handed out.
What does that have to do about lap 60 of the Xfinity race?
NASCAR and some of the teams, all of that. I wanted to see what the 98 did. I instantly see kind of message delivered. The 98 goes up, passes the 00.
Has nothing to do with the race manipulation.
You don't want to hit your driver that you're a teammate with. But Jeff, if you would have just parked it behind him, it would have frustrated me thinking the 98 was faster.
Yeah, you're always going to try to show respect. And those 2 guys have done a really good job of being teammates, working well together.
And remember, the guys up front, that's Stewart-Haas Racing, which they're closing their doors at the end of this race. So Tony Stewart, Gene Haas have decided to liquidate Stewart-Haas Racing. There will be a Haas factory team, but as of right now, we've got an issue with the 45. The back completely off of that of Stephen Parsons.
Another car
and
around.
The 14 also involved. So now Greg Van Alst has stopped up against the wall and the caution has come out. All right, Steve, with 29 laps to go, you mentioned earlier that extra set of tires. Any need to use those now?
No, I think at this point, you run the first 2 stages very straightforward. Just stay on the racetrack. It will be another, to Jeff's point about adjustments, it is another kind of data set. See how your car cycles from some new to some old tires. Let's see exactly what happens. The 5 of Anthony Alfredo on the outside of the 45. 45 looks a little free coming up.
Oh.
Oh, 5
gets into the wall.
Oh, he just turned him.
Oh, and then contact was stepping down on the flat. I don't know
Yeah.
if he thought the 45 ran him into the wall. It was hard to tell from that angle. But definitely an odd spot to see contact.
Yeah, and certainly, and then behind.
Yeah, Greg Van Alst in the 14 there. Not sure how that happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah, so that right there, I think NASCAR is going to take a look at. Certainly contact the 45 into the side of the 5 in the wall, and then, coming down the racetrack to get in the right rear quarter panel of Stefan. NASCAR is probably going to take a look at that. They've been they have been very strict on hooking someone in the right rear and causing a wreck. And
they'll have to make a determination if that was intentional or not. And that's a hard place to determine that because you're turning left to go down onto the apron, and in all fairness, that could have been just an accident.
Yeah, a little bit more of a violent transition when they go down through the dog leg. Safety crew immediately to 45. Steph Parsons already out of that car.
Good to see.
And again, the 14 of Greg Van Alst also involved in this one. So up the racetrack goes 5. Maybe a little contact with the wall there. When they go down, more contact from Alfredo into the 45 and into the wall to go.
That was a pretty big hit in the dog leg, too, there for Stephen Parsons, so it is good to see him get out of the car under his own power. He is definitely going to be done for the day. Greg Van Alst dropped the window net as well as he was parked against the inside wall with the driver's side, or right side, excuse me, of his race car that hit there. So both those two that were involved in the incident will be done for the day. I'd imagine NASCAR is probably going to step in and at least park Alfredo for a couple laps at the very least for reckless driving. That seems to be kind of what they've done in these situations throughout the course of the season. It wasn't super egregious in the sense that I don't think he's going to be parked the rest of the race, but he definitely turned him intentionally. I will say, with it being a short track, I think that is the reason why he isn't going to get parked. As wrong or right, or as that may seem to some people, that's just what I think they're going to go with it because we've seen instances like this on short tracks in the lower series, and they seem to park them for a couple laps. I mean, even just a couple weeks ago on an intermediate track, nonetheless, we saw Connor Jones get parked for a couple laps for an on-track incident at Homestead. Matt Mills. Luckily, not as violent of a hit for Stephen Parsons, but I'd imagine Alfredo will not be on the lead lap anymore. He definitely turned down the track after getting squeezed into the wall. You have a right to be upset in that situation, getting squeezed into the wall for what feels like, wherever they were battling well outside the top 10. Really no reason for that to happen in that situation, but you also don't right hook a guy, a couple 100 feet after the fact. I gotta say, my years of racing, we were talking about it earlier, I don't think I ever intentionally wrecked anybody. I got upset for getting turned, but I don't think I actually intentionally wrecked anybody. Like in a retaliatory effect. Because usually I was done for the night if I had significant enough damage following an incident anyway, so then you go back the next week and I just kind of forget about it. I may race them a little harder, but I'm not going to, go out there and just dump them. First chance I get to see. I was always one for racing clean. Actually, two-time Sandusky Speedway, what was that, Sportsman of the Year. Inaugural, by the way. Apparently, it was the first 2 years they had that. Sportsman of the Year. Back to back. So I definitely don't think I intentionally wrecked anybody. I wouldn't have made it in this day and age of NASCAR, I don't think. Too nice. Too nice of a person. I was the Mark Martin at Sandusky Speedway. That's what I was. Only actually won a championship, though, so I guess I wasn't Mark Martin, but you get the point. I'm sure Mark Martin had a track title somewhere. He just didn't win a NASCAR title. I think he accomplished way more than I did in my racing career. I will say that much. I'm not going to be talking trash about Mark Martin. They rode for 2 laps. That's what I was expecting. In recent incidences like this, we've seen 2-lap penalties. For, basically having to come down to pit road, get parked for a couple laps. Alfredo still scored on the lead lap on our leaderboard under the caution right now. It'll be interesting to see. Get another restart. Looking at, they gave a piece of tape to cover one of the meters on the dash in the 21 team during the first and only pit stop that they've had so far. Wasn't able to listen in to exactly why they did that, but interesting. Showing the replay from Alfredo. Getting squeezed against the wall by Stephen Parsons. Parsons coming down the track, hooking the 45. I don't think they've given him a penalty. Well, we'll see if he comes down pit road now. If he doesn't come down pit road this time, I don't think they're going to give him a penalty.
Massive impacts. We've seen some huge names in the sport get suspended for that same move.
He has been posted for aggressive driving.
Okay.
5 of Anthony Alfredo.
So he has.
Smart.
Rick, we've seen some.
So he hasn't come down pit road to serve the penalty yet, which he might want to do so before he goes back to green flag racing, because otherwise he's going to lose more than 2 laps under green flag conditions. But yeah, 2-lap penalty for Anthony Alfredo. I would imagine it's going to be a 2-lap penalty. As heard, at least at the tail end of that, he was posted for rough driving, excuse me. Right call. Right call. He got penalized, yeah. He just hasn't served the penalty yet. That's the thing. If he came down pit road this time. See, if he does it under green with how long pit road is at Phoenix, he'll probably end up going 3 laps down rather than 2. So he might as well just concede. I mean, he was in the wrong. He's on pit road now. See if they get the 1-to-go signal this time. They do, they're going to end up restarting without him. No, they didn't give the 1-to-go signal yet. If they're doing that just to get Alfredo his 2 laps back, like, is that the reason we're still under caution right now? I say screw it, man. Just restart without him. It's what he gets for reckless driving. Why should he have to serve the entire penalty before we go back to green flag racing? Should have served it immediately. Had a whole commercial break. We had like 3 to 5 minutes of real time for him to serve the penalty, and now he's just now serving it. They're probably reviewing it during the entire break before they handed the penalty to him. That's probably what it was, but I mean, I felt like it took one look. I mean, real time, I thought that that's what happened, let alone, you know, having to watch a replay. Like, how many times do you have to watch that happen before you come to a clear, concise decision that, oh yeah, you know, that's what he did. Yep, he definitely intentionally hooked him. Like, how many times do you think they're looking at this? Like, supposedly last week after the Cup race that they were looking for 27 minutes only at Bell riding the wall. It's like, how many times do you think they probably watched just that by their words? Which I don't think that that's what they were looking at. I think it was a bluff, but you know, by their discretion. It's like, what, so you literally watched it like 30 times and then decided, you know what, yep, that's what we should do. Okay. NASCAR should be like IMSA. Well, unfortunately, NASCAR actually owns IMSA now, so which is strange in the sense that it seems like there's better officiating calls there than what there are here, but the same people own it. Believe it or not. I forget how many years ago they bought ownership stakes in that. It's right around COVID. So with this caution coming out, free pass, by the way, went to Ryan Sieg in the 28. So he's back on the lead lap. 26 cars on the lead lap when we get to this next restart. Whenever we get there. Very lengthy caution, I will say. Caution came out at lap 61. We ran 10 laps under yellow so far. 11. We're on lap 72. Sorry, our lap counter's a little off. 11 laps of yellow up to this point. It'll be 12 at the line. Have they gotten the 1 to go yet? I don't know if they got it yet or not. hard to tell. I don't think they did. This is a long cut. No, because Alfredo's still on pit road. He's on the second lap of his penalty right now. Now he's left pit road. So now they're gonna get the one to go signal. It's ridiculous, dude. 13 laps of caution for a 2-car incident. What are we doing here? Oh man. How many minutes of real time has this caution gone on for? Like 12 caution laps? About 73 seconds a lap, it looks like. Under caution, it's about a minute and a quarter almost per lap. We're going to be 13 caution laps by the time they go green. I mean, it's literally like a 15-minute caution. Doing my math correctly here. 13 caution. Yeah, it's about a 15-minute caution, give or take a minute. Maybe add a minute onto that, honestly. Minute and a quarter. Every 4 laps would be an extra minute. So, yeah, about 16. About 16 minutes of caution for a 2-car incident. Partially blame Anthony Alfredo for hooking him, but I mean, this is NASCAR own ARCA. They do. They outright own ARCA, I think, now, but I don't know if they have a full ownership of IMSA or not. I don't know if it's full. I know it's at least partial. They have some stake in IMSA. Probably explains why Diffie's a NASCAR broadcaster now. Ah, maybe. Wait a minute, they didn't get the one to go that last time? Oh my gosh. They're just now getting it. 14 laps of caution. We're talking 17 plus minutes of NASCAR caution flag at Phoenix for a 2-car incident. Holy hellacia. I mean, obviously, this is way worse at the truck and Xfinity level. I mean, we've gone over this numerous times. They have less personnel at the racetrack, but I haven't seen a safety truck on the track in laps now. I mean, it's been a handful of laps. Oh my goodness. Confused when someone said love the cactus. That Custer in-car camera found the cactus. Yeah, it's on the front stretch. It's right under the flag stand. It lights up yellow when a caution comes out too. So it could be a yellow cactus, a green cactus. It could be a red cactus in certain situations. We had a red cactus yesterday, the truck race. All right, 14 laps of caution. Following the 2-car incident is now over. We'll have the green flag back in the air. Both SHR Fords are on the front row. Herbst on the outside, Custer on the inside. Green flag back in the air. Custer drives down to the inside of the racetrack trying to take that dog leg cut. A lot of cars bottoming out as they enter turn 1. Near contact, the SHR teammates. Herbst turning down on top of the 0-0. Custer loses a lot of ground on the inside lane. Goes from inside front row in the restart now to side-by-side for 4th on the outside of Austin Hill. And battling for 2nd is Justin Allgaier with Chandler Smith as Allgaier's up to 3rd place right in line behind him. Herbst leads the first lap following the restart. And we're already down to just 15 laps to go in Stage 2, by the way. The caution laps during the stage end and that, I mean, we're going to have about half as many caution laps in Stage 2 as we did green flag laps, and we only have 1 caution for incident in the stage. Up to this point. Justin Allgaier and Cole Custer still battling for position. Custer quickly caught back up to the 7 after having to hold clear on those couple cars in line just behind him. And Custer will make the pass, so maybe a little bit more short run burst out of the 0-0 versus the 7 car. And Chandler Smith goes around in turns 1 and 2 with a slide. Locks it down, keeps it off the inside wall, and the caution flag's out yet again.
Running 7. So another restart coming up.
Yeah, I think you see the 18 of Sheldon Creed.
Teammates.
He's just expecting the 81 to go lower on the apron. We've seen on restarts, drivers will drive, 2 or 3 car widths down on the apron. And it was just,
Yeah, it was on Creed.
those two drivers just didn't have it worked out. And Sheldon Creed just turns left, not expecting Chandler Smith to be there.
Right along with Austin Hill.
Tough finish to the JGR tenure of
That's the best
Chandler
way to pass,
Smith.
guys.
So, I mean, Sheldon Creed came down on the 81. But is there fault that you can give to these two?
Well, yeah, it was just Sheldon Creed just thought that Chandler was going to the bottom and be lower on the apron, and he just misjudged where Chandler was going to be. It's a difficult racetrack because it gets so wide, and you don't always know where the other guy's going.
3 cautions already here at Phoenix. This time it's teammates trading a little paint, and the 81 goes around.
Closed cap.
Well, I will say there will not be 14 laps of caution during the single car spin with no damage on the 81 or the 18 following the contact which led to the spin in turn 1. So that's a plus. Honestly, we shouldn't even have half that. I would imagine we'll get back to green flag racing here very shortly. Another commercial break taking place during the midst of this caution, so we'll take a break of our own. You're listening live to the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship race here at Phoenix. KRC Productions. I'm glad somebody heard me with the circus music on the on the mic there. That was very intentional. About as intentional as Anthony Alfredo right rear hooking the 45 car earlier. That was about as intentional as that. And I'm not protesting it either. This is a protest-free zone. Shout out, by the way, to Shane Van Gisbergen getting up to 12th already. He was at the tail end of the lead lap following a speeding penalty at the end of stage 1. And he is already up to 10th now, it looks like. Looks like we got a couple cars down on pit road. Some split strategy, it looks like, for a couple of the JRM Chevys. Sammy Smith, Justin Allgaier, it looks like, in the pits. Maybe a couple more. We'll have to wait and see. They're still on commercial. Obviously, Chandler Smith was going to pit following the spin. He'll need new tires. Not sure how many other cars might have pit there. Quite a few of the leaders did come down. Austin Hill also pit. Sam Mayer. William Sawalich. Custer, Almirola. Looks like Creed stayed out. Are we missing pit stops because of the commercial break? What is this, Fox? I couldn't hold that one in. That was actually pretty funny. No, this isn't Fox. This is CW Sports. KRC Productions wouldn't have a caution in the middle of pit stops. I'll tell you that much right now. We got our advertisement in and out before the pit stops. So I didn't sing. It was more of a mumble of a.
The Allmendinger currently
Yeah, hang on.
third. He did not come to pit road, so that has him in front.
How do we miss pit stops under caution in their championship race?
Or let's get a check-in from pit road. We'll start with Dave.
What in the Fox Sports is going on here?
He called his car a smidge tight. He got 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel to send it back down pit road, and he's running 12th now. We'll see where he chooses, Marty.
Dave, the reason to pit here before the end of stage 2 with 120 plus laps to go, they can divide it evenly from here to the end of the race. Justin Allgaier said his car was just a little bit tight. Much better stop for the 17 this time. And you mentioned it, Rick. AJ Allmendinger decided to stay out. Alex Yance told him, listen, I think the leaders are going to pit. Our only play here, let's do the opposite. They were the lowest running car of the playoff championship for Kim.
Well, Marty, Austin Hill told his teams he did not think they made the right adjustment on that first stop. He needed more out of the car. It was too loose. He could not be as aggressive with it as he wanted. He said it was sideways with the rear, so they did a wedge adjustment this time, 2 rounds out on the right rear, as well as an air pressure adjustment for Austin Hill.
Well, one thing to keep in mind, Rick, you see that Creed, Love, Allmendinger was last on pit road at lap 50. These drivers at lap 79. While that looks like a long time of 29 laps, most of that has been run under yellow. The leaders only have about 10 laps of hard racing on their tires, so there is an argument, and I would think the plan would be that here in 8 more laps, you still don't come to pit road. I think you've made your bet at this point, and you're going to have to commit. Now, that plan will go out the window if they...
All right, 8 laps to go here. Stage 2, green flag back in the air. Sheldon Creed on the outside of row 1 for the restart, getting the launch. Jesse Love on the inside, top 10 or so cars staying out of the pits. 11th on back will have 4 fresh Goodyears. AJ Allmendinger, the only championship Ford driver that stayed out, restarted in 4th. Austin Hill well down to the inside. They're fanning 4, 5, maybe even 6 wide through the center of 1 and 2. Still 5 wide, back straightaway. Huge situation there. Herbst making a slight bit of contact with Sawalich on the outside lane. Barely kept the 19 off the wall. That could have turned into a disaster on the back straightaway. We had a parking lot crash in the back half of the Truck Series field yesterday in that same area of the racetrack. Justin Allgaier and Cole Custer are the first couple that are racing their way through on these fresher tires. Eric Almirola in the 20 car as well has found himself just in front of the 7. Almirola is 5th. Allgaier is 6th, right in line behind him, and then Riley Herbst, who's led the most laps in the early going of the race, is 7th. Austin Hill back onto pit road.
Right along once again with Austin Hill. That violence, dog leg that they try to cut.
Okay, never mind. That was a bad graphic there by CW. It said he was on pit road, and then I figured, okay, he's on pit road. Let's get an update. No, he's still on the track. What was that? I swear it said pit on the left side of the screen. 21 pit. He is back to 16th. He might have been so low on the bottom of the racetrack in turns 1 and 2 on that restart. Maybe that's why it said he pit. Maybe the timing and scoring had it that way. Either way, back to 16th on the restart for Hill, the worst restart of the championship contenders. Almirola, first of those on 4 fresh Goodyears, now to 3rd as he gets by AJ Allmendinger. AJ trying to block the 7 of Allgaier to the outside. Big slip up by the 16. Slight contact as the 7 tried to thread the needle up the middle between the 16 and the 98. There was contact and Herbst almost spun out on the front stretch. Quite a bit of contact there. You can see the Goodyear lettering rubbed off of the 98 of Herbst's car as well. Herbst battles back to the inside of Allgaier after finally clearing Allmendinger off turn 2. You know he's got a great short-run car here today. Maybe the best short-run car in the field. Custer has been looking good on the shorter run side of things. I'd say Riley Herbst a little bit better on the longer run than the 00 from what we've seen so far. Herbst completes the pass on Allgaier. Custer trying to slip to the outside of the 7. The 7 blocks that off for 5th. These are the leaders of the driver standings for the championship 4, the 7 and the 00, as they run 5th and 6th place. Allgaier slides a bit off turn 4. Custer again back to the outside. 2 to go, stage 2. And Almirola leading the owner standings in the 3rd place position, right behind Creed. At the front of the field. Herbst's going to get by Jesse Love for 2nd. As Almirola's in 3rd, getting by Jesse Love as well. Final lap, stage 2. Sheldon Creed led that last time by at the line. Herbst side by side with him. And Herbst completes the pass into turn 1. So despite almost spinning out after contact with the 7 car, somehow, some way, he had found himself up in the front of the field. I almost wonder if the 7 car might have a tire going down on that left ear following the contact with the 98, because he's slowed up considerably, falls to 7th, as we come to the end of stage 2. But he at least holds on for that. 4 wide at the line just outside the top 10. Austin Hill was in the middle of it trying to get every spot he could. And our 4th caution of the race will be the stage 2 end here today. So 2 cautions for incident. And 2 cautions not for incident with the lap 45 and lap 90 stage breaks. And Riley Herbst sweeping the stages here tonight at Phoenix. I think he's probably got the best car in the field, honestly. At least on the short run. What a restart there by Herbst, despite the contact with Allgaier in what was a battle for about 5th. With a few laps to go in the stage, still was able to get through Almirola, and a couple of the drivers on the older tires made the last lap pass to win stage 2. And again, sweeping the stages here tonight, Riley Herbst, 2nd in stage 2 for Sheldon Creed, Eric Almirola 3rd, Jesse Love 4th, Cole Custer in 5th, Connor Zilic 6th quietly, AJ Allmendinger 7th, 8th for Sam Mayer, William Sawalich in 9th, and Justin Allgaier 10th. 66 laps led for Herbst. He's led 5 different times already. 18 laps led for Sheldon Creed, 5 for Custer, and 2 for Allgaier. Are the 4 different drivers to lead at least 1 lap in the race so far today. And 12 lead changes so far, and again, 4 yellows. 1 caution for incident, 2 cautions for incident in stage 2, none in stage 1. So our longest green flag run of the day were those first 45 laps in stage 2. All 4 yellows have spawned in that 45 lap stretch. Just over an hour from the start of the race to where we're at right now, and our current average race speed, 85.71 miles per hour. Still a little outside the fuel window to make it to the end as we begin this final stage here tonight. Time to end the chat poll. Asked you guys who you thought was going to win the Drivers' Championship for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 197 votes. Greatly appreciate everybody voting. Only 197 votes in the chat poll. But only 66 likes on the stream, guys. Hit that like button. Greatly appreciate you voting in the poll. And appreciate those that have hit the like button so far and are watching the stream. But be sure to hit that like button. 43% going to Justin Allgaier to win the championship here tonight. Again, for the driver standing specifically. I did predict at the start of the stream Almirola to win the owner's title. Custer to win the driver's title. Based off the end of stage 2, that could happen. It happened up to this point. But yeah, 43% took Allgaier, 28% took Custer, 19% had Allmendinger, only 8% took Austin Hill, who would have been last of the 4 at the end of stage 2. Both these stage wins tonight for Herbst were his 3rd and 4th stage wins of the season. Ties him for 5th in the series with Jesse Love. Actually, ties him for 4th in the series with Love and Custer. All right, diecast showing now as we're at the end of stage 2. Showing off the collection that I have sitting behind me of the 124 scale diecast at the end of stage 2 during all these live commentary streams. And because championship race weekend, doing only NASCAR Cup Series champions for this week. This is a classic, one of my favorites. This is a 1996, I believe, Goodwrench. Well, it's Goodwrench on the side. It should be the Wrangler scheme. The Wrangler scheme, Dale Earnhardt Sr. It's a classic. Personally, it's my favorite Dale Sr. scheme of all time. A lot of people take the black iconic number 3. I take this Wrangler scheme. It's always been my favorite. Maybe not this one specifically, but over the Earnhardt years, I've always liked this. I still need to get the Dale Jr. diecast from the 2010 summer race when he ran a very similar Wrangler scheme car in the then NASCAR Nationwide Series. So then I could have like the original and the more present one. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite schemes of all time. So figured I'd show this off. 7-time champion, championship weekend. And that's our diecast showing for stage 2.
98 and the 7 get together. Allgaier, people like that's on purpose, and then off of turn 4. You see this right here, the 7 of Allgaier. He's trying to get underneath Allmendinger, and Riley Herbst is there. Riley Herbst almost spun the thing out with that contact. Nice job saving it.
Well, the result of all this is now the 7 will have to come down pit road, change that left side. I think the left side has air in it, but I just don't believe that's a gamble you want to take with a car that's already driven from the back where you're yet to get to halfway in this race. You have to just come put fresh tires on it, Marty.
So AJ Allmendinger, top of your screen, said, I am, quote, tired of this, man. I'm fighting the same thing every lap. It's miserable to drive. They can drive way deeper than I can in the corner, and I'm just chattering the right rear. So he feels like they need some pretty significant adjustments on the 16 car. Meanwhile, just getting left side tires only here for the 7 car of Justin Allgaier. And there was further radio from Jim Pullman to his driver. So an interesting mix there. Older right sides, brand new left side. Steve, how would that affect the handling of the car?
Well, probably I'll free it up a little bit, turn a little bit better with the cooler left side tires and lower air pressure. But the strategy is they didn't want to burn another set of tires. Remember, this is technically the 3rd set of lefts that have gone on. That leaves them 1 whole set of tires and a set of fresh rights. So that leaves some opportunity still late in the race.
Biggest issue with that is this run, you're not going to learn much on how your car drives.
Champ 4 right now, Allgaier.
So Chandler Smith was the defending winner of this race. Had an issue, obviously, earlier in Stage 2 with the spin. But as far as our Championship 4 competitors tonight, where they finished in the spring race earlier this season, Austin Hill ended up finishing in 4th place. Didn't lead a lap in that race. Cole Custer led 61 laps in the spring race, finishing in 5th. He also won a stage that day. So maybe not surprising that Riley Herbst has won 2 stages here today, knowing that SHR had speed in this very race earlier in the season. Obviously, Justin Allgaier got in that incident, ended up finishing towards the back end of the field. DNF finishing to 29th after leading 52 laps in that one, including down the home stretch. And AJ Allmendinger finished 18th in this race and actually finished 1 lap down, first car lap down. So probably similar issues for AJ tonight as what he experienced in the spring race. Just not running very quick. Mediocre speed at best. He's been pretty much running right around where that 17th, 18th place has been for most of the night, outside of the couple race starts we've had that he maybe has gained a few positions, lost a couple positions. He was in the top 10 at the end of Stage 2 because he stayed out during a late pit stop and ended up getting the top 10 at the end of the stage. But ultimately, yeah, I don't think his car is handling well here. And I would have thought that maybe they could have had more speed than they had in the spring race here earlier this season, considering he was the first Championship 4 driver locked in after a win at Vegas in the first race of the round of 8. But that doesn't seem to be an advantage for them specifically here this weekend. Herbst had a good car. Good thing. I mean, if he was in the Championship 4, yeah, he'd definitely have a shot to win this thing. My prediction of Almirola winning the Owners title, though, and Custer winning the Driver's title is still very much alive. I took Corey Heim in the truck race last night, so I'm 0 for 1 this weekend. My race win predictions, though, I had 4 in a row from the last 2 Cup races, the last Xfinity and truck race through Martinsville. Swept the weekend in Martinsville. And then I took Reddick to win the Homestead race for the Cup Series. So I had 4 in a row going into last night. And we might get 2 in 1 race with the championship picks for Almirola and Custer here. On a hot streak to end the season. Pull up my season stats real quick. I believe I'm at 9 race win predictions on the Xfinity side. I took Almirola for the race win, too, here today. At the very least. Try to find my Google Docs page. I didn't have it open. 10 race win picks for the Xfinity Series this season. 8 for the trucks, 7 for Cup, including the last 2 for Cup. I had 5 in the first 17 races, and then I went almost 18 races without predicting another winner until 2 races ago, and then we go back-to-back for the first time this season. So, I mean, I was off to a hot start. I thought I was going to make a run for my record of 10 for the Cup Series, and it really fizzled out very quickly. My bonus pick would have been the championship pick, too, there, and I had Bell, and he's not even in the championship 4, so. Nothing on that side of things, but we might get to 11 in the Xfinity Series if Almirola could pull this off. He's currently in 2nd. This is going to be the highest up in the restart running order he has been today.
And you pull Custer out of that mix, but as long as he finishes in front of the other 3, he can win the Owners' Championship for Joe Gibbs Racing. Very successful year for that 20 team. Multiple wins. It's been an impressive run. 9 wins for the 20 here in 2024. And KP, all right, of the 4 championship contenders, has one done better with the pressure up to this point?
I think Custer's done better so far. When I look at it, when you guys at home watch these in-car cameras, there's a pop-off valve on these helmets. When the pressure goes up, and we've seen it. Austin Hill with the water temperatures. We've seen Allgaier here with situational awareness, knowing where he is on the racetrack. And we've seen it out of AJ. AJ has screamed from lap 1 that this thing is not handling. So his pop-off valve is dancing up there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, and it's too bad for AJ. He's having a tough night. His race car's not handling the way he wants it to, so he's struggling. But I think Allgaier keeps bouncing back. He's had some significant things happen since the start of the race, and that is a fast race car still. I'm keeping my eye on that, Seth.
Yeah, fast race car there, but they're on differing strategies as far as the tire situation goes. This stage starting is going to be very interesting, Rick.
All right, thanks, guys. Pop-off valve, interesting. Jeff, do you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think for AJ, when you're having this kind of day, you just need to get it out. You need to express it, right, and get it going, and then just got to go back to work, right? I mean, you cannot give up. You never know what's going to happen. Steve said it earlier. If I'm the crew chief, I'm making a big adjustment. But I want my crew chief saying, "We're going to get it, bud. We're going to get it. We're going to make something happen." And with a guy like AJ, I think some positive reinforcement's a good thing.
So if you're looking at trends, again, I will remind you, the championship 4, they don't have to win the race to win the championship. But trending, the last 2 races that were swept, meaning stage 1 and stage 2, were won by Austin Hill and Eric Almirola. Well,
All right, well, here we go. Green flag back in the air, and we've got Riley Herbst with a great restart on the outside of row 1. Almirola didn't fire off initially as well. He's side by side for second into the first turn with Cole Custer. A couple of cars going 3, nearly 4 wide further back. Swallows losing some ground. Sheldon Creed gaining quite a few spots up the middle. Got by the 11, the 7, and the 2 very quickly. Still 4 wide on the back straightaway. Entering turn 3, Creed's going to get 3 more. And contact above him with, it looked like the 26 and the 28. That was a mess. Sheldon Creed gained like 7 or 8 positions on that first lap following the restart. I don't know exactly how many cars he passed, but it looked like 7 or 8 of them. I mean, he was 4 wide up the middle in the center of 1 and 2. Then he was 4 wide bottom underneath several other cars. Cleared all 3 on corner entry into 3. I mean, that's 6 cars at least right there. What a restart by Sheldon Creed. He's already up to 7th after just pitting during the caution. Because he had stayed out of the pits before that. We got a penalty for Justin Allgaier.
You have to stay in your lane until the start-finish line. Let's take a look at what the 7 does. See if he changes lanes before the start-finish line. Right there. Back it up about 5 or 6 frames before the start-finish line. Keep going and go back, and we're going to go back. He should be behind the 11. You freeze it right there. The 7 needs to be behind the 11. That is the rule. I think this is clear as day. It's unfortunate, but clear as day that the 7 went left before the start-finish line. I hear the argument on the radio. Justin, I understand in real time, that's probably like, a clap of your hands. It happens right away. But in replay, Jeff, in my opinion, that was a clear call NASCAR had to make.
4 of these penalties last night in the truck race. We need to pay attention to what goes on in the races prior to this. This isn't a new rule. This happens at every racetrack. However, at this racetrack, it is a little more difficult for the driver because the restart zone is in a corner. There's nowhere else that we have a restart zone actually in the dog leg, and that makes it very inviting to hang a left to shortcut the front straightaway to get to turn 1 quicker. But drivers have to know the rule. This was a clear violation of the rule. It's no different than every racetrack we go to. You have to stay in line until you get to the start-finish line. It's the same rule in every racetrack.
So Justin Allgaier tail end of the lead lap after serving his pass-through penalties in front of race leader Riley Herbst on track right now. This last time by the line, about 25.5 seconds off the lead lap time. That last lap for Herbst, 28.3. So about 2.7 seconds is the difference between Allgaier and now speeding on pit road. So that just adds insult to injury.
Have a penalty on top of a penalty. Now the
First, the restart line violation, and then the speeding penalty on pit road for Allgaier.
So for the 7, you see the frustration from the crew chief. You just can't. You have to be able to circulate down pit road. This has been the 7th year, though, has it not? Great race cars, fast race cars, leading laps. Some self-induced, not all mistakes. They've had some bad luck fall their way this year, but now they have a clear violation on the restart and then too fast while serving the penalty.
This is his 14th season in the Xfinity Series. He is desperate to win a championship. And unfortunately, so far, just some poor decisions. And he is a very popular guy in the garage. People want to see him do well, but this is just mistakes you cannot make.
Jeff, let's look at it again. He's definitely losing the lap right here, serving his second penalty. Let's go back to the original penalty on the restart. Remember, you must stay in lane. We're in the restart zone. Following the 11. You see the green cactus up here. This is the start-finish line right here. We stop it.
Don't jump the cactus.
He turns left before the start-finish line. You're not allowed to change lanes until the start-finish line. You mentioned it 4 times last night. This is something that should have been reviewed. Maybe it was reviewed within the team, but either way, I mean, right there, I have that as changing lanes already.
Oh, no question. I mean, it's a very clear violation. It's not a question. The call is right.
But then he compounded it by speeding on pit road while serving that penalty. And so he wasn't a lap down until speeding, and now he is scored a lap down.
So Cup driver.
And he's the tail end of everybody that is 1 lap down, so not even in the free pass position. We have just 91 laps to go with where we're at right now. Problems for Justin Allgaier that may have very well taken him out of the championship hunt. Cole Custer in second now. Obviously, the championship leader, Eric Almirola, who restarted seconds, fallen to 7th for the owner's side of things. And AJ Allmendinger is now up to 6th. He does have a few lap fresher tires, about 8 green flag lap fresher tires than those around him. Taking advantage of that, trying to drive through the field currently. And both he and Almirola battling for 6th on track, it does appear. And Almirola has actually gotten right back around the 16 yet again. AJ drives it in deep into turns 1 and 2. Oh, a little bump to the back of the 20 of Almirola. A little slight bump and run. Textbook maneuver. Driving down into 3 and 4, hooking the yellow line on the inside, and Allmendinger clear on corner exit. AJ's up to 6th, putting a late charge on with the slight difference in that tire advantage. And obviously with the penalties to Justin Allgaier on the restart, he is now 2nd in the championship running for both the owner's points. Well, actually, owner's points he'd be leading, because the owner's championship, the 00, is not in there. So the 16 at the very least leading the owner standings after just making that pass on Almirola. For the driver standings, he's 4 positions back. Interval-wise on the racetrack, about 3.6 seconds behind the 00. SHR running 1-2 at the front of the field. Haas will be fielding 2 Xfinity Series cars full-time next season out of the same shop. So at least these 2 teams specifically maybe not going away, but definitely going to have some people that are there with those organization, with the teams, maybe not staying there through the off season and into the next year. So there definitely will be an overhaul there, and there might be even more so on the competitive side of things as well. We'll just have to wait to see what next season brings. Cole Custer trying to go out on top with back-to-back Xfinity titles for this team before the rebrand on the Xfinity Series side of things. 2.2 second lead for Riley Herbst over his teammate Cole Custer at the front of the field. Sam Mayer sits in 3rd, 3.4 seconds off the lead. 4th place is Sheldon Creed, Connor Zilic 5th. Jesse Love now up to 6th, passing AJ Allmendinger. AJ is now in 7th. Eric Almirola 8th, William Sawalich in 9th, and Chandler Smith is 10th. Daniel Dye in 11th, Shane Van Gisbergen in 12th, Jeb Burton 13th, 14th for Brandon Jones and Sammy Smith 15th. Austin Hill 16th still since the restart. Jeffrey Earnhardt 17th. Parker Kligerman 18th, Matt DiBenedetto 19th, and Josh Williams is 20th. 21st for Parker Retzlaff, Dylan Lupton 22nd, Brendan Poole 23rd, Kyle Sieg 24th, and Josh Bilicki 25th. 26th is Ryan Sieg, Ryan Ellis 27th, last car in the lead lap. Jeremy Clements first car lap down at 28th. 29th for Joey Gase, Leland Honeyman 30th. Justin Allgaier 31st now following the back-to-back penalties, restart violation, then speeding on pit road, serving that penalty. Double whammy there has put him a lap down, unfortunately. Patrick Emerling is 32nd. Blaine Perkins 33rd. Dawson Crant 34th. Garrett Smithley 35th. 36th for Anthony Alfredo. Greg Van Alst 37th. And Stephen Parsons rounds out our 38-car field. Our average race speed is 85.13 miles per hour. A little over an hour and 20 minutes from the initial drop of the green flag to where we are now. Riley Herbst has led 94 of 119 laps to this point in the race. 81 laps to go. We'll take a quick break. You're listening live on KRC, the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship race at Phoenix. Shout outs to those of you watching the stream that haven't given out shout outs yet over the second half of this race. Now we got T. Conley in the chat. Appreciate you tuning in. Jeff Curry, I don't know if I shouted you out yet. Eduardo Garcia, thanks for tuning in. I saw Christopher Barrett in the chat a while back. Same for Trainskate 1024. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. As well as everybody else who's been here from the start of the stream, or start of the day, perhaps. As we had live commentary for NASCAR Cup Series qualifying before this. We had our Cup Series practice stream yesterday, Truck Series race stream last night as well. So back-to-back double headers on this championship race weekend. Our main event fixing of the NASCAR Cup Series championship race tomorrow will begin at 2:30 p.m. Eastern with our pre-race show. Hope to see you for that one as well as we end this 2024 NASCAR season strong. Let you listen into the actual race broadcast when they do come back from the side-by-side commercial break, leading into the next caution or the next break after that, whatever we get first.
For double the thrill and double the fun. You can enter for a chance to win an unforgettable trip to Universal Orlando Resort, followed by that VIP experience at the 2025 NASCAR Xfinity Series opening weekend. Scan the QR code or visit thecwsweeps.com right now to enter. Want to take a look at the Xfinity fastest lap? It was Chandler Smith, and it was way back on lap 4, 27:90. Bridge over 128 miles an hour around this 1 mile track. And right now, Chandler fighting for the 9th position. Almirola in front of him. As we see Sawalich and Flynn on board. The 19 in 10th, chasing after Chandler Smith. Heating up a little bit on the inside of him there was the 10 of Daniel Dye.
That's good racing right here. Side-by-side battle. It's difficult to finish the pass off at this racetrack. The second and third lane gets really good, really gripped up.
Oh, that's some tight racing right there. It's like an offset 3 wide, and it worked out. Jeff will have to check back in with the 7 of Allgaier. I mentioned a half a lap between him and Jeremy Clements. The first car 1 lap down. The half a lap has turned into about 500 feet or 500 yards probably. Here's the 7, 39 in front. Next car in front is this bright yellow, greenish 51 car of Jeremy Clements. The 7 has a chance to get back in the free pass position. He just needs to do it before Hurt starts slapping the back of the field.
Well, that's the problem, because here you go. The 98 of Riley Herbst, he is right to the back of that field. There he is. He just gets by the 28 car, and now the 28, he is the first car lap down of Ryan Seed. That's how quickly it happened.
Jeff, good news. We're looking for good news for the 7.
Good news, bad news. It was good news for a little while, and then Riley Herbst has made it bad news. All right, Steve, when does the pit window open for these guys to come to pit road?
Well, they get on fuel now, about 85 to 95 laps, so the window is technically open. The leaders, even the guys on the oldest tires, they've been out there for about 47 total laps, 35 of them green. So they have at least 45 more laps worth of fuel, probably a little bit more. The question is, when do you come? If you're Cole Custer, who's running second, leading the championship 4, you don't want to come first. You can take a breath. No reason to be the guy risking it. The question is Allmendinger or Hill. No offense, all guys will lap down. He's no risk either. So Allmendinger or Hill, can one of them, Jeff, come early and force Custer to make a decision?
Well, I think that's what you have to do, because this 21 car of Austin Hill, he's back in 15th position. So if this thing goes green long enough and everybody pits at the same time, he's going to come down pit road with a ton of track position. Somehow he has to try to gain on Cole Custer.
Let's check in on pit road with the Ford Champ 4 drivers, and we'll start with you, Dave.
Cole Custer is pretty happy with his race car right now, and racers are typically superstitious. They do the same things to try to do the same results when they are positive. Last year, before they came to this race, they ate at the Waffle House after Martinsville. Last week, after Martinsville, they ate at the Waffle House again. JT, Jonathan, Tony, and the whole team said, we're going to do that and make sure we put everything in line to try to win here again, Marty.
AJ Allmendinger sitting in the 6th position. The guys made the point a moment ago. Looks like a little bit of life here with this 16 team. AJ said, I'm still fighting the same exact things. And then a spotter, Coleman Presley, came on the radio and said, I understand that, but your lap times are very close to Cole Custer. We're in the range, Kim.
Well, for Austin Hill, it's been a research, kind of been his Achilles heel. He tried multiple times to restart on the inside lane. That didn't work. The car was too loose, could not find momentum. The last restart, he tried to use the top. That also did not work. This car still needs a lot of work. Austin telling the team it's so easy to get in a four-wheel slide, and the front's starting to chatter really badly. He said it's disconnected on the entry, center to exit. We're going to look for more changes next time they're on pit road, Gardens.
And Jim Justin Allgaier back in 28th now, trying to tack down Ryan Sieg. The problem is, as the guys pointed out, Riley Herbst keeps finding cars to put a lap down. He's in a little bit of window. If he can get the Sieg, he can be the first car one lap down. Jim Pullman imploring him on the radio, do not burn through these tires. I'm going to need all I can. Remember, they are down half a set to the rest of the field.
Half a set and a lap. It's a bad combination, but I like Jim Pullman. Keep cooching. You got to just keep firing. 70 to go, Rick. You can't give up.
All right. Think about this. If you're a Stewart Haas Racing employee, right now you are leading the race and you're leading the championship. What a way to end 2024.
It'd be pretty cool if we get a triple burnout tonight. Could you imagine that? You get a non-playoff driver winning the race, a different driver champion, and a different owner's champion. Have we ever seen that in NASCAR history before, a triple burnout? We've seen a couple double burnouts. I could definitely guarantee you that if SHR finishes 1-2 in this race, that they are definitely doing a double burnout at the very least, assuming Herbst is the one that gets the win, of course. 4.1 second lead over Cole Custer. It's amazing that he's that much faster than even his teammate throughout this one. Nonetheless, a teammate that's competing for a championship. 26 car making an unscheduled pit stop on pit road at this moment. And that will drop that team off the lead lap. Jeffrey Earnhardt driving the 26 tonight for Sam Hunt Racing. 25 cars on the lead lap. We'll go through the full field running order again here as we have a little less than 70 laps to go. Riley Herbst is out in front. Cole Custer is in second. Sheldon Creed third. Jesse Love fourth. And Sam Mayer in fifth. Sixth place for AJ Allmendinger. Connor Zilisch seventh. Chandler Smith eighth. Shane Van Gisbergen in ninth. And Eric Almirola in 10th. 11th is Daniel Dye. William Sawalich is 12th. Brandon Jones 13th. Jeb Burton 14th. And Austin Hill 15th. 16th, Sammy Smith. Matt DiBenedetto in 17th. 18th, Josh Williams. Parker Kligerman 19th. And Dylan Lupton 20th. 21st for Parker Retzlaff. Kyle Sieg 22nd. Brendan Poole 23rd. Josh Bilicki 24th. Ryan Ellis 25th. First car lap down is Ryan Sieg in 26th. Then you got Justin Allgaier 27th. Jeremy Clements 28th. Joey Gase 29th. Blaine Perkins in 30th. Leland Honeyman 31st. Patrick Emmerling 32nd. Dawson Cram 33rd. 34th for Garrett Smithley. Anthony Alfredo 35th. Jeffrey Earnhardt 36th. Is still on pit road. 4 laps down now. And 2 cars out of the race today. Greg Van Alls 37th and 38th for Stephen Parsons. So that rounds out our full 38-car field for tonight's Xfinity Series season finale and championship race. Our green flag run to this point, second longest of the day. A little over 35 laps since the last restart. No cautions for incident yet in Stage 3. After having 2 of them in Stage 2. 4 cautions total, with the 2 stage ends also at lap 45 and lap 90. Back to full screen coverage again here on the CW, but we'll stay right here with my live commentary for the rest of the day, and you get to listen to my lovely, beautiful voice. Our like goal is to get to 100 before the end of the stream, and we are currently at 80, and we have well over 200 people concurrently watching, so be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Maybe put your picks for who you voted for in the chat poll that was open in the first 2 stages for who you think will win tonight's Xfinity Series Championship. And also who you think is going to maybe win the race if you think it's going to be a different driver, which as of this point, Riley Herbst has dominated. Honestly, this is about as dominant as Ty Majeski was in the truck race last night. 113 laps out of 138 led so far for Herbst. 132 of 150 laps led last night for Majeski in the truck race en route to his championship win, and Ford trying to go 2 for 2 this weekend. It's not just the Cup Series where Ford has the upper hand on these flat ovals. It's really all across every series. I mean, you look at either Majeski or Riggs winning a lot of the flat tracks in the Truck Series this season. You got, obviously, here Cole Custer. Riley Herbst won at Indy earlier this season. I think Custer might have won the week before that at Pocono. And obviously, you know, here tonight they're running 1-2 at Phoenix. We know Penske's been dominant in this fall race here the last couple of seasons, winning the championship for the Cup Series level. Blaney last year, Logano winning the race and the championship the year before that. Blaney finishing second, 1-2. They could finish 1-2 again tomorrow, wouldn't surprise me. So it's not just in the next gen and in the Cup Series. Ford as a whole has had a stranglehold on these flatter tracks. I'd argue they've pretty much had this kind of a stranglehold in the flatter tracks. It's even the late Gen 6 era years back in about 2021. I noticed that with Almirola winning at New Hampshire. There were some other races where, you know, SHR wasn't as good throughout the season, but the flatter tracks, they really performed. They were qualifying well. And even, for instance, last week, you know, at Martinsville, although they didn't have great finishes in the race, they qualified towards the front of the field, and you saw a Priest and a Briscoe running top 5 for most of the first half of that Martinsville race. I don't know what it is that is the case. But obviously, as long as the Championship 4 race is going to be held at Phoenix, I mean, how can we not just pick a Ford every time? And honestly, I'm surprised they didn't do that last night, to be completely honest, knowing that. That's what made me pick Custer tonight, personally. Obviously, this was after Allgaier got in a crash with his primary car yesterday, too, by the way. It solidified my decision with Custer, and here he is running in second, trying to win the title. And as far as the championship goes, he has about a 6-second advantage over A.J. Allmendinger, who is in 7th, and a 5-position advantage for that driver's championship. Now, A.J. Allmendinger trying to hold on for the 16 team for Kaulig Racing to get the owner's title. He is currently in 7th as of right now, and Eric Almirola, the driver he'd be racing for the owner's title, is currently 10th. I don't know if they mentioned that much on the broadcast for anybody that has been listening to the actual broadcast side of things for most of this. But yeah, AJ Allmendinger is actually the owner's championship leader right now, in 7th place. The fact that none of the championship 4 in the owner's title is in the top 5, that might be the first time ever. Although the truck race, where did Ben Rhodes finish in the truck race last year when he won the title? Those cars were all wrecked. I don't even remember if he had a top 10 in that race, to be completely honest. It was so much of a crapshoot. All I remember was him winning the title and Christian Eckes winning the race, and that was about it. It's like saying both Super Bowl teams can celebrate. Don't want the double burnout. Oh, man, Tim, you don't want the double burnout. I mean, Herbst has to get the burnout because he wins the race. You know, the championship is Custer. We used to get double burnouts all the time back in the older format days because we haven't seen the champion win the race and the championship as much until recently. Riley Herbst on pit road with about 54 laps to go. He's going to be one of the first cars in to make his 4-tire stop. So pitting a little bit before the halfway mark in this stage from when they restarted. This is a gutsy call. Because if we get a caution that traps him a lap down because of being the first to pit road as the leader nonetheless, with a pretty healthy advantage over second. A lot more cars coming in as well. You got Jesse Love, Brandon Jones, Chandler Smith are in.
Chandler Smith coming down pit road. They had the spin a little bit earlier. He's in here making their final stop. So the window now open. What you'll see is a lot of cars coming over the next 10 laps or so. But those who pitted at lap 95 might try to make a longer run here, Kim.
For Austin Hill, they came a little earlier than they wanted to. Austin said tight across the middle, but it feels like he destroyed his front tire. Specifically, he felt like the right front might have been porting. They said, if you need to bring it to us, come down. He's down on pit road. They will make a big chassis adjustment, take 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and put fuel in, Marty.
Here comes AJ Allmendinger down pit road to match Austin Hill. He said the car fell off and just had no grip at the end of the run. That's his biggest issue for fresh Goodyear tires. Dave, how about Cole Custer?
You can see him locking it up there, just trying to get it into his pit stall and avoid the cars there. It was just a little bit tight and then went to fairly tight another 10 laps later. So they'll make an adjustment here. Cole Custer with command before this cycle of green flag pit stops started happening. As far as the championship goes, that was a good stop for his crew.
So they had more fuel on board, but basically the 98 of Riley Herbst said, this is as far as I want to go. I want to kind of break up the even amount of laps on both sets of tires. And you see the instant reaction by all the playoff drivers. It's kind of a new phenomenon in the last 4 or 5 years. We used to run all the fuel out of these cars pretty consistently, but these teams are getting more and more aggressive on their pit calls, and we're seeing less and less yellows. That's kind of agreeing with these strategies. Now, if you're the 7 of Allgaier, this is when you need the caution, right? You need to try to get this to cycle around. Currently, he's still a lap down, though, to the cars that have stayed on the racetrack. So he's still in a tough position.
There's that 7. Scored a lap down. Dave, what about Sheldon Creed in that 18?
But a fairly good run for him tonight. They've been working on it most of the time. Remember, Sheldon started in 2nd position tonight, so the car has been fast. The Joe Gibbs Racing crew, 4 fresh tires and fuel here.
Yeah, Rick, I wonder how it's going to cycle. But looking at the monitor, right, Allgaier just still isn't in that position. As you see Daniel Dye.
Danny Dye!
Racing car continuing to lead. Parker Kligerman in the backup is 2nd.
Danny Dye is leading.
Kim, what about the 48 of Parker Kligerman?
Yeah, he's kind of putting a bow on his full-time career. This is going to be the last race he runs as a full-time driver in any series. And I had the opportunity to talk to him, and he said he's gotten a little sentimental this weekend. He said it's closing a chapter on his career. He's stepping into a new one. And he said, you know, when you get into racing, you never think about what the end is going to look like. But he's been very happy with his performance the last couple of years. The team has a special sticker on each side of each speed post that thank him. They also put a banner across the pit stall that was a surprise for Parker, just thanking him, showing all the pace he's run while he's been with Big Machine. Right now, Parker, though, he just set tight on the center, maybe needs a little more center turn for the last run of the race.
Green flag pit stop cycling through, and with that, Parker Kligerman was scored and is scored up front. Riley Herbst now 2nd, and he's already been to pit road.
All right, so Parker Kligerman is in the race lead as of right now. Riley Herbst has actually scored in 2nd place behind him at the line that last time by. Justin Allgaier still on the track, hoping for a caution that could keep him on the lead lap and get him back into this championship hunt after having multiple penalties already here in Stage 3. Restart lane violation and then speeding on pit road, serving that penalty. And it looks like Allgaier may be coming into the pits this time. No, he was just running so low on the bottom of the track through 1 and 2. He fooled me. Herbst does take over the race lead from Kligerman and Jesse Love. Love had already come to pit road. I believe might have cycled out in front of the 00 of Custer in 2nd. I could be wrong on that. Could be staying out as long as he possibly can also. Caution flag is out. Anthony Alfredo against the wall. And it looks like he had a pretty hard hit in turns 1 and 2. Some would say comeuppance. I'd say karma, actually. Karma's probably what it was. The right rear hooking the 45 car of Stephen Parsons earlier in the race. Looks like there had to be some sort of mechanical issue with that 5 team. I mean, that right side of that race car is flattened. definitely pancaked the wall in 1 and 2. So with 45 laps to go, the caution flag is out for the 5th time today. Our first caution of stage 3. That's the caution Allgaier needed. He was on the lead lap, stayed out as long as he could, hoping for a caution. He got it. And there are only 13 cars on the lead lap at the time of the yellow. Looks like all 4 Championship 4 drivers were of those on the lead lap, including Almirola for the owner's title. So all 4 very much in contention. 5, I should say, technically, all very much in contention for this thing still. And this may lead into more pit stops coming up as well. I believe this will be the final set of tires going on the 7 with this caution. He would have left sides left that he could throw in the car if needed later in the race, but as far as the right sides go, this is it. He's got about a set and a half of tires left. So he really needs this to stay green to the finish at this point for this to work out. How many other cars is that going to maybe pull to pit road as well and perhaps burn their last set of tires after already just pitting under green within the last 10 laps? Alfredo is out of his car. He did pull it back to his pit box before getting out.
The caution has come out. It was Anthony Alfredo into the wall, and what a break for the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Take a look at this, though. Anthony Alfredo, a big hit for the 5.
Yeah, this is a big hit. Looks like the right front goes down, and that is a big impact.
From the bottom of the track to the top.
Oh, that is hard hit. It's narrowed that car up. And that is exactly what this team needed. We said it wasn't over here.
Excitement in the 7 pin, and now some decisions have to be made, right? I mean, we just saw the leaders come to pit road, but can you afford to give Allgaier just a 6 or 7 lap fresher tires than you with 43 laps to go? I just don't know if you could afford. So does Allmendinger, does Hill, does Custer, do they come get tires? Or if you're Custer, who currently has the best track position, do you stay on the racetrack? It's going to be a tough call.
Stay out. If you're Custer, stay out.
Flag laps on his tires.
Stay out.
Remember when Allmendinger had about a 6-lap advantage? He was going by guys, and it looked like the car was really good. So does that mean that these other drivers have to?
Yeah, but AJ only got up to 6 though, so
That's really the question.
stay out.
Continues to stay closed right here.
Look, if you're AJ Allmendinger, he has been vocal. He can't win this race and beat the guys he needs to beat without doing something different. So what
Yeah.
is that? Is that
Well, AJ might.
right?
Custer needs to stay out.
Hoping you get a caution late and then come get tires, but it gives Allmendinger an opportunity with a car that's not as fast to play the game a little bit differently than others.
All right, let's check in with the pit box, and I'm going to start with you, Brad.
Yeah.
How about the elation out of the 7 of Allgaier?
Wow, my goodness. I mean, I thought his night was actually over. He was just riding. I was feeling bad for this young man because he's going to have to live with the mistakes. And here we are. All of a sudden, he's right back in the mix. And Allgaier's got a great opportunity to win this race.
Yep, Christmas game in November for Justin Allgaier and his team right now. Can they take advantage of this? And what are the other guys going to do to try to match that?
It's going to see, and we said it earlier, between his ears.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? He thought he was out just like everybody else did.
I did too.
Now he's back in and could be in the catbird seat, guys.
Incredible.
And on the radio, he said, which section did I speed in? He doesn't want to make that same mistake. We heard Jim Pullman say, just drop me at least 1 light so that we don't get caught for speeding.
He's
on
not
pit
racing
road.
anybody
So now with
here,
pit road open,
for the most
there you
part.
see the 7 on its way in. The 21 also following him down. So Austin Hill on the same strategy. Kim.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a last-minute call for the 21, ultimately deciding they needed to come. Andrew Street telling his team, we have to gamble. This might be our only shot to win the championship. Austin saying it fired off decent that time on pit road. And then it feels like they're back on the free side, which is where he wants to be. He said, not sure what happened on that last set of tires. He did have some cording on the right front, so let's watch this crew go to work. He has been one of the best crews all year long. They'll take 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Snowco fuel, Marty.
You could just hear it in the voice of Justin Allgaier and Jim Pullman. New life for the 17. He said, the only thing I need is to turn a little bit better in the center of the corner. Now back on the lead lap and fresh tires. What can Allgaier do with it? 41 to go here in the championship race in Phoenix. Home sweet home.
All right, we're gonna have not that many laps to go. Less than 40 when we get this next restart in here. That was our longest green flag run of the race, by the way. Ended up spawning about 55 laps. About 10 laps longer than the green flag run we had all the way through stage 1 going caution free. And this is our 5th caution of the night, our first in stage 3. Riley Herbst has led for 127 laps to this point. And it'll currently be leading when we get to this next restart. And obviously, not as many cars are going to be on the lead lap, and with the very front cars at the front of the field staying out, nobody was able to take the wave around. 27 car of Jeb Burt was the free pass car in 14th. So that's it. 14 cars on the lead lap here at Phoenix. But all the Championship 4 drivers for both the owners and the drivers' titles are in it. And of those that stayed out, the 20, the 16, the 00 stayed out, while Allgaier and Hill pit. A couple other cars also came to pit road. Sam Mayer, Brandon Jones were also on pit road for 4 fresh Goodyears. What is catbird? It's an old saying. I couldn't give you the textbook definition. I just remember DW saying it all those years on the Fox broadcast. He's in the catbird seat now. I couldn't tell you what it exactly means. I don't know. It means, I always thought in the driver's seat, because you're trying to, the hot seat was always like the lead, but kind of fading, I thought. But the driver's seat was the attack seat, essentially. So maybe the catbird seat is like, maybe it's a medium of them. Maybe it's like in the lead but pulling away, so maybe not like the hot seat. I don't know. That's my that's my guess for that.
Well, let's look ahead to next weekend's games, plus Coach Belichick's game plan and Chad Johnson's predictions. You don't want to miss. It's the NFL Wednesday at 9/8 Central. The champ for running. Well, right now it's Cole Custer looking to defend his title. He's third. AJ Allmendinger in that 7th spot. Allgaier on the lead lap running 13th. Fresh tires. So does Austin Hill with 14.
With fresh tires, 7 car of Allgaier, the 21 of Austin Hill. Those two drivers need very good
All right, Herbst and Love will be on the front row for the restart. Love on the inside and Riley Herbst on the outside. Cole Custer outside row 2, and you got Sheldon Creed inside row 2. AJ Allmendinger inside row 3. Zilich on the outside of that row. Green flag back in the air. Love spins the tires on the restart. Jumps down to the inside line, trying to make up some of that ground back. Custer trying to go for second place on the outside of Jesse Love, entering turns 1 and 2. 3 wide just behind him with the 16, 18, and the 88. And the 18 slides the rear tires in the middle of that corner. Slight tap from behind by the 20. Now he's still 3 wide middle between the 81 and the 1. Down the back straightaway and entering turn 3. Creed slides up nearly into his teammate Chandler Smith. 4 wide corner exit. Smith had to lift to keep it off the wall. Loses a bunch more spots. How about Shane Van Gisbergen up the middle? He's got the 7 and the 21 just underneath him. The 21 well down lower on the inside of the track through 1 and 2, trying to keep pace with Allgaier as they're on the attack mode with the fresh tires. Herbst was able to hold on to the lead, by the way, on that restart. And Custer, not able to get the second, is actually sitting in 4th place, just behind Connor Zilich and Jesse Love. Allmendinger in 6th, Sam Mayer between the 00 and the 16. And Justin Allgaier trying to make the pass on Sheldon Creed in the 18 car, which would be a pass for 8th if he can get it done. Austin Hill, who is all the way down on the well inside area of the racetrack, was not able to obviously pass Justin Allgaier. and runs just behind him in 10th as he passes Shane Van Gisbergen in that last lap. Top 5 on the restart. Riley Herbst in the lead. Jesse Love second. Cole Custer third. Connor Zilic fourth. And Sam Mayer is in fifth. Eric Almirola right in front of the 16. Owners Championship battle right now. All on top of each other. Throw a blanket over them. They're separated by 5 positions. In the middle of the running order nonetheless. Creed to the outside of Allmendinger, side by side for 7th. That would get a buffer car behind the 20 of Almirola. While the 7 is right behind both cars, side by side. Nowhere to go. He's boxed in. And that allows for Austin Hill to close the gap. And he gets to the inside of the 7 off turn 2. Couldn't keep pace with them all the way down the backstretch. Allgaier shoots to the outside. Quickly clears the 16 car of AJ. And now trying to put the attack to Sheldon Creed in the 18. Not going to make a move there. Center of 1 and 2 looks to the outside instead on this end of the track. Trying to get a better drive off. Creed's got slightly older tires, about 6 laps worth. Gets a bump from behind. Sails it wide on entry into 3 and 4. Very deep corner entry to the bottom of the track for Allgaier. He had half of his car down on the apron. Seen that with several cars on that end of the racetrack through this Xfinity race, maybe more so than the Truck Series race yesterday. I almost wonder if that paint down below the yellow line on the apron gives a little bit more grip. Allgaier's been one of the more aggressive drivers running that line throughout the course of the race, and we showed that last lap as well. We'll see if he can make the pass on Creed this time around. Not going to be able to do it there. Still in line behind him, trying to pick a different line to make the pass. It's allowing the 20 of Almirola to put a little bit of separation between the 2 cars. Maybe not what he wanted the last couple laps. Almirola running really low. Creed with the higher line. Almirola again to the inside of Creed entering 3. Half of his car down to the apron through the center of the corner again. Slides the rear tires on exit. Can't stay door to door. And might have grazed the wall off turn 4 as well. Looked like the 7 kissed the outside wall. Austin Hill on the attack. Right in line behind him. Almirola now to the outside of Sheldon Creed through turns 1 and 2. And this might be the opportunity to make the pass on this end of the track this go around. Pass complete through 3 and 4. And now the 7 car looking to pass Eric Almirola. 5 spots gained since the restart for Allgaier, 4 for Hill. Hill to the inside of Creed through 1 and 2. Drives it in deep on corner entry. Side by side for 8th. Almirola to the outside of, or I should say Allgaier to the outside of Almirola. Allgaier should have the pass complete off turn 4, and he does. So 28 laps to go. Allgaier in 6th leads the owner standings as we run right now, passing the 20 car of Eric Almirola. To win the Drivers' Championship, he would have to pass Cole Custer in the 00. Custer's in 3rd. And again, 6 places where Allgaier runs. Austin Hill going 3 wide under the JGR Toyotas of both Creed and Almirola. Almirola was the car in the middle line. And now it's just side by side between Hill and Almirola as Creed's clear from the high line and into 7th. Hill down onto the apron through the dog leg, taking the shortcut, still trying to get by the 20. Down on that yellow line of the racetrack, he should be able to pull clear for position this time, and I believe he does. At last lap, Justin Allgaier ran a 28.979. 29.1 for Custer. Allgaier was 0.2 quicker than Cole Custer that last lap. 2-second lead for Riley Herbst over Jesse Love at the front of the field. And it definitely looks like there's some pretty tight traffic. By the way, 2 Junior Motorsport cars next to in line in front of Allgaier as well. Connor Zilic and Sam Mayer are 4th and 5th. They're the only 2 cars between Custer and Allgaier. So maybe not going to be as hard of passes for the 7 when he gets to them. Slow car bottom of the racetrack, Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 26. A lot of smoke. But we do stay green as he's on the well bottom of the racetrack and out of the way. He will get the pit road off turn 2. Austin Hill's still been going to work on Sheldon Creed. Thought he did make the pass on the 20 of Almirola. He's about a half a second ahead of him, but he has not been able to pass Creed. And he's a little over a second and a half now behind Allgaier and losing ground on the 7.
Got the steering wheel in hand. He's running 6th, and he can see his closest competitor in front of him. Right now, might be getting held up by Jesse Love.
Cole Custer with tons of pressure. Got to make this pass right here. Have to clear Jesse Love. Cannot let Jesse Love hold you up.
That's what you got to do. You got to gas it up. It's time to take. It's time to squeeze the 2 up the racetrack the best you can. Turn left, shortcut him, and hope you can slide him into turn 1. Love's going to fight back on the outside.
0-0. Now in the sights of the 7 of Allgaier.
This might cost him a spot.
To the outside. So now Custer being aggressive, which he has to do, he could lose the spot. You got to take it right here. You got to find a way to clear this 2 car. Look at the 88.
Here comes Zilich in the 88. We mentioned how these other cars would factor into this championship. Well, right now, Cole Custer cannot pass that 2.
That cost Cole Custer 3.5 tenths of a second to the 0-0.
And here comes the 7th. Allgaier is in frame.
Yeah, there he is.
The 0-0 has to be feeling the pressure. He thought he had a chance. Now the 2 is way up the racetrack.
Give me some draws.
Cole Custer just cannot clear Jesse Love. And that has cost him tons of track position.
Cole Custer, a champion a year ago. Won the race, won the championship. Now everyone chasing after Riley Herbst. He's got 3.5-second lead over Jesse Love, who the 0-0s were tirelessly to get by, but still cannot make the pass.
And that had to hurt the tires on that 0-0. Running the bottom like that just grinds the tires off.
Now the gap has closed even more between the 7 and the 0-0.
Again, Cole Custer, he is under attack by Zilich in that 88.
Well, the 88's now to his outside, or I think he was there. He wasn't quite there.
Such a difference, Steve. If Cole could have cleared that 2 car and got in front of him, then he could be on full offense. But now he's having to play some defense.
Connor Zilich has been working the inside, the outside. Sam Mayer also in the picture in the 1. And then Allgaier. What a turn of events for Justin Allgaier.
Allgaier shifting. Allgaier found that speed when he jumped to the outside of the 20 and a couple other cars. You have to wonder if the 0-0 can risk moving up to that upper lane. That's really what worked for Jesse Love up here at the front of the train, right? He was forced to the outside by the 0-0, and I think it's helped the 2 now that he's running the second lane. Look at him, not even trying to get to the yellow line. While this battle is going on, Riley Herbst is waving goodbye. He is 3.5 seconds ahead of this group.
Yeah, trying to check out on the field. What a ending to his season it would be if he could end up in victory lane.
Now the 7 of Allgaier, he got to this group, but nothing has happened since that. Really, he has not been able to close the gap.
And this is Junior Motorsports right now, running 4th, 5th, and 6th with Zilich, Mayer, and Allgaier. And Allgaier can't get by him.
Custer change.
Zilich to the inside of Cole Custer through turns 1 and 2 as he slides up the racetrack. Can't stay door to door with him. We'll be coming up on 15 laps to go in the Xfinity Series Championship race this time by. 3.7 second lead for Riley Herbst over Jesse Love in second. Cole Custer 4.3 seconds back in third. Connor Zilich 4.5 seconds back in fourth. And Sam Mayer 4.8 seconds off the lead in fifth. That is the top 5 with where we stand right now. Your championship 4, Custer 3rd. Allgaier 6th. Austin Hill 7th. and AJ Allmendinger in 11th. If we were to get another caution, then Cole Custer and AJ Allmendinger would still have another set of good years left. The 7, the 21 do not. The 20 car could also pit for the Owners' Championship side of things. He is currently in 10th. Zilic again to the inside of Custer through 1 and 2. He can get there in the first half of the corner, can't stay there in the second half. He was so close to just hanging on that left rear corner panel. Those two cars get side by side. The 1 and the 7, they're definitely going to have an advantage at trying to close the gap on those two cars ahead of them. Allgaier has now caught Sam Mayer, looking to get by him with 13 to go. Into turns 1 and 2, he's going to go to the middle upper line of the racetrack. Mayer down towards the bottom. Allgaier going to get to the outside of the 1 car on corner exit here off turn 2 and may be able to complete the pass in 3 and 4. Mayer backs off, lets him go on entry into turn 3. Well clear for Allgaier as he moves up to the outer lane, trying to find speed there. 12 laps left in the championship race. And the battle for the Drivers' Championship is between Cole Custer and Justin Allgaier, just a few positions apart from each other. 2 of them to be exact. And the 2-car Jesse Love is now being caught by the 00 and the 88 just a little bit. Somewhat of a gap built up between Custer, Zilic, and where Allgaier is on track. Allgaier back to the bottom. 11 to go. The difference between the 00 and the 7 that last time by at the line was about 9/10 of a second. At last lap, Allgaier ran a 29.565. Custer had a 29.549. Custer just a smidge quicker. And Austin Hill, by the way, is catching a second win. He is now all over the back of Sam Mayer. Don't count Hill out of this thing yet. Maybe he was backing up and saving his tires for the later going of this run. He's side by side with Sam Mayer as they get into turns 1 and 2 with 10 to go now. Zilic could just get door to door with Cole Custer here. That could be an opportunity for Cole, although Custer gaining ground on Jesse Love, going to try to get around him the second time. He got underneath him for a couple laps, about a dozen or more laps ago, then lost ground to him. Now has caught him back up again. One of the better drives Jesse Love has had, by the way, this season to be in second place in the season finale in his rookie year. Had a super speedway win at Talladega earlier in the season, but definitely, I'd probably say his best run on a non-super speedway so far this season. Those 3 cars, 2nd through 4th, are under a blanket. I mean, they are all underneath each other tightly. 8 to go this time by. Zilic looking to the inside of Custer again. And off turn 4, he's there. Side by side. How much ground now is Allgaier going to catch as they're door to door for 3rd place as they enter turn 1? Zilic on corner exit is going to be clear of Custer with the slide job. No, Custer stays to the outside barely. Zilic runs him up just a little bit. And Allgaier's got to run from behind. Oh, Zilic slides up into Custer. They make a little contact. Door open on the bottom for Allgaier. Custer holds on clear as he stays in front of the 88. The 7 car on the inside going to get by Zilic. That definitely costed Custer quite a bit of time, but Custer still holds on. And now it's Allgaier, Justin Allgaier to the inside, taking a peek through 1 and 2. He's on the left rear corner panel of Custer. Door to door. As they get into 3 and 4, he might have shipped him up the racetrack that time. Allgaier's got it. He put the bumper to the back of the 00. Now can he get away with 6 laps to go? Custer's got to drive back on the front stretch. And as they enter turns 1 and 2, both Custer and Allgaier sail it into the bottom of the racetrack deep. Allgaier better have the speed to get away from him. He definitely put the bumper to Cole Custer through 3 and 4 that last lap. Custer had no chance to hook the bottom of the track entering the corner. And as they work their way through 3 and 4 again, Custer is not going anywhere. 5 laps to go. And maybe a car length difference, if that, entering turn 1 this time. Jesse Love has pulled away from these two just a bit. The battle currently is for 3rd before the championship. Custer diamonds the corner off and gets a straighter corner exit than Allgaier off turn 2. And as they enter turns 3 and 4, bottom of the racetrack by both of them, Custer wraps the inside longer through the corner than what the 7 of Allgaier did. Allgaier may be catching Jesse Love here in the next couple corners. Allgaier slips to the inside of the 2. Can't stay with him off the exit of the corner. Still nose to tail. Now about a 2 to 3 car length difference between the 7 and the 00 on corner entry into 3 and 4. Custer going to try the middle line of the racetrack. Love ran the top. Big run for Custer. The 7 car might have slipped up through the center on the bottom lane of the racetrack through 3 and 4. Caution's out. Yellow flag is out with 3 laps to go. And this is going to force us into overtime here. Leland Honeyman brings out the yellow in the 42 car. It was a 5.4 second lead, by the way, for Riley Herbst over Jesse Love. So despite the 98 and the 2, now running for the championship, they will be first and second on the restart. And also you got to think that there are fresh tires available for about half of these teams that have not used their final set yet. The 21 to 7, they've used their final set. The 00, the 20, the 16, they could all pit here. And AJ Allmendinger, for instance, he's in 12th. He's definitely pitting for fresh tires. So do not count AJ out of this thing. The question is, does Custer from 4th pit as well?
Yeah, and for Austin Hill, they used that last set of stickers when they gambled on that last caution, so they just have scuffs. Austin also said he felt like the right front was going right. Remember, they had that weird run where he corded the right front. He feels similar to that, but they only have scuffs left on the wall.
So that's important to know. So now if you know the 21 only has scuffs, that would probably lean to staying out. So can you give him the track position?
The other thing that matters is all the guys that aren't racing for the championship, what are they going to do? Are they going to separate you? Are they going to put new tires, line up behind you if you stay out? And those guys will impact their strategy, what they do, how many tires they have left. They're going to impact who can win this championship.
I say it all the time, Rick. You tell me how many are going to pit, I'll tell you what you should do. That is really the impossible thing. If you pit and take tires and you line up 1 row or 2 rows back, you got them. 45 lap tires, you're going to kill them. But if you come out 3 or 4 rows back with some other guys that decided to stay out, it's going to be a tough decision. Here we go. Green lights on the pit. Looks like a left turn.
Pit entry light.
Stop time. Crew time for a championship.
Well, I mean, the 7 car's got left side tires left.
Steve,
But
you mentioned it. The teams. This is a team sport, and we'll find out who can win it as a team.
Best friends Shane Papala and Dakota Ratcliffe, they changed the tires for the 00. It'll be 4. No fuel added, Kim.
Austin Hill on pit road in that 21 car, bottom left of your screen. They will take those scuffed tires. We'll look at that right front when it comes off of Austin Hill's machine, Marty.
The handling really no better for AJ Allmendinger, but they're going to come down here for fresh tires for him, a little bit way too free. And for Justin Allgaier, this is Alex Bowman's pit crew on Sundays. What can they do for Allgaier right now? They're actually going to go with 4 tires for Allgaier here on this stop. He said the car was really good at the end of that run. How will they do on the short run here?
Oh, and a slow stop on the 7.
Hill went rights only.
2 spots. The 21 all year long. We've talked about the pit crew of the 21, and here he is, the first off pit road on scuffed tires.
Allgaier couldn't get out of his box.
Yes.
He did that stop, and he just spun the tires.
Yeah, it wasn't a great stop, but also he
probably
could
spun the
not
tires
get
because they were
it
scuffs,
all.
though.
He was sitting there spinning the tires, and the car was hardly going forward. Watch this.
It was probably because he was on scuffs and not on the fresh stickers pulling out of the pit box, which I would imagine is why he was spinning his tires. And we've seen issues with some of the desert sand in the pit boxes during the truck race last night. That could have been a factor as well.
Out of that box.
So Kim on the 21 for scuffs. How good are the scuffs, I guess, is the question on the 21 cars.
Just checked in with the team. They are 7-lap scuffs. So how do you feel about Austin chances? He's out front, but he has scuffed tires on that Chevrolet.
Jim, do we know if it's 2 or 4 on the 21? I couldn't tell from the pit stop how many tires they changed on the 21.
It was fast.
It was fast. That's my question. Because he passed the 98. We'll have to get the update. Waiting for our timing monitor to reset as well. I believe it's 2 tires. We're hearing now a 7-second stop. So 2 scuffed tires on the right side of the 21. Kim will go get us the answer for sure. Technology is good, but we want to make sure we 100% know as we set the stage here for a championship.
And again, the reason for this caution, Leland Honeyman Jr. in the 42. There you see him sideways.
Who got into him? Somebody got into him.
And not able to
34.
continue rolling, and so the caution came out, which means a restart. It means overtime. And Austin Hill, what a stop they had. Kim, have we got verification on how many tires?
Yes, verification, right sides only, 7 lap scuffs, right sides. Right now, the decision where to make the choose. The bottom nor the top has worked well for Austin, but he's got clean air, so we'll see what he decides.
Well, the pit crew.
So we've seen situations like this in the past where teams will take scuffed tires because that's all they have left just to try to do what they can with those on the stickers. The sticker tires are still way better than the scuffs. I will say that. So you're basically looking like, you know, it doesn't matter how many laps scuffed tires at this point. They're scuffed tires. They've been through a heat cycle. They're not going to fire off quite as well. Might see some tires spinning off the start. Austin Hill, it's interesting. He took 2 tires. I don't know if maybe he had 2 sticker tires left. By the way, he's going to have at least 2 old tires. I know Riley Herbst in the 98, he would definitely be on 4 fresh stickers. Custer should be on 4 fresh stickers. And Custer's 1 spot ahead of Allgaier. Allgaier's on scuffs. Almirola for the owner's title in 6th. He is also on 4 stickers. I know he didn't pit earlier. AJ Allmendinger back in 11th. For the championship side of things, he also would be on stickers. Scuff tires as well for, you know, maybe Hill. Out of the 2 tires he changed, whether those are stickers or scuffs, we don't know for sure. But I thought he used his last set of stickers already. Several others, obviously, of the half a dozen that were on the lead lap when the caution came out, will be on scuffs as well. So it's really a mixed bag, and this could cause chaos on the restart, to say the least.
Crowd here in just a few laps. Who will it be?
And is this the only attempt at overtime? Will we see a second attempt at overtime, too? That's the question. Listen into the radio of the 7.
You got this, man. I got the best driver right here at the wheel. And you're going to make it happen for me, okay? That's just the way it's going to be. You know, make it happen.
Jim Pullman cheering that drive on. He's won 25 times in the Xfinity Series. He's top 10 all time as far as wins. He just does not have this championship yet.
So, Jeff, where do you line up?
Well, I got to see what the 21 does. I have to assume that we are going to be a lot faster than the 21 of Austin Hill. But remember, it can be 5 wide entering turn 1. So I want to see what the 21 does. If I'm Cole Custer, we've seen every restart. He has been to the top and he has picked up spots. I think the 00 wants to be on the top. But if the 21 goes to the top, I would be nervous about going up there with him. And there's the 21 to the top. 2 cars go to the bottom. Let Cole Custer no chance of 7 with Cole Custer.
So it's nose to tail for the championship.
That's interesting. I'm surprised he didn't do opposite.
The 00 and then the 7.
Yeah, so all on the outside. Hill, Custer, Allgaier. First 3 rows on the top. Jesse Love is going to be the first of those on sticker tires at the front of the field in second. He should get a better fire off on the bottom. Same for Riley Herbst, who's also on stickers. Almirola. I think Almirola's in the best spot to win this owner's title. Allmendinger on the inside, row 5. Pretty much every car on the inside line has stickers through the first 5 rows. Most of the cars on the outside, excluding Custer, have scuffs. So this is interesting that Custer took the outside. Hill is the control car on this restart as well because he is the leader.
But if these 3 get as aggressive as we think they could, that could bring all the...
All right, here we go. 2 laps to go. Overtime restart. Our first attempt at least. Obviously, if we get to the white flag, the next flag ends the race. The RCR duo on the front row. Hill, Love, Hill. launches first, green flag back in the air. Allgaier quickly looking to the outside of Custer. Custer blocks. The 21 blocks the 00. Little bump. Love to the lead in front of the field. The championship battle heads towards turns 1 and 2. Hill continues to block Cole Custer. Center of the corner. He gets into the back of him. And Allgaier up the middle. 3 wide. Takes the championship lead. 4 wide further back. Allgaier's pulling away, but the caution is out again. Parker Retzlaff has crashed in 1 and 2. Allgaier drives up to second place before the yellow flag waved. And Cole Custer lost a ton of time, stuck behind Austin Hill that entirety of the restart. And Justin Allgaier's got about 6 or 7 spots on him now. But unfortunately for Allgaier, we're going to have to deal with at least one more restart.
Told him to go get it done. That 1 and 2 was a career corner to the 7 of Allgaier.
Nope.
You mentioned that the 00 kind of got up top, trying to get to the right side of the 21. The 7 crossed him over. What a move.
All right, no mistakes. So Allgaier is now right behind Love.
What a,
Looks like Riley Herbst is questioning the positioning. So he's driving beside the 7 now.
Yeah, so basically what NASCAR does right here is they go back to the last loop crossed under green flag conditions. This is not the scoring that will be done by camera because it doesn't determine the finish of the race. This is purely electronic, but Riley has every right to do that. That's how you signify to the tower you question the lineup. You ride side by side. They'll quickly offset where everybody needs to be.
Let's go back and revisit that restart. Everybody got really aggressive. Remember, Austin Hill with older tires. We talked about how is this going to work on the outside. Immediately, Allgaier tries to get to the outside of Custer. Couldn't make it work. Watch the 00. He all day has made the outside work, but the 21 doesn't stick. He doesn't stay in the middle lane. It doesn't allow Cole Custer to get to the outside of the 21. Allgaier saw it, drove to the bottom of the 21, and got his spot.
6th to 2nd in about 3/4 of a mile.
And maybe even bigger, the 00 of Cole Custer got so bottled up behind that group, he might be 5, 6 positions behind that 7 of Allgaier.
Exactly, and this is the reason for the caution.
Tail end of the
You
pack,
can
of
see
course.
3, 4 wide getting into turn 1. Eventually, it's not going to work out for somebody.
Yeah, it was funny. Retzlaff ended up around some,
Big hit.
yeah, hard into the wall to the back of that car. Listen in to Cole Custer's radio.
Pretty fair. Pretty.
He did. Listen, the 21 knew the 00 was looking outside. The 21's racing for a championship, and he made a defensive move up the racetrack. That's what the 21's supposed to do. I have no problem at all with that move from this driver right here of the 21. I think Austin Hill did what he needed. His play-by-play is pretty accurate. Custer would be great at our jobs because it did stop him. And the 7, the ability for the 7 to get checked up and turn middle 3 wide, Jeff, was really the move.
Well, look, I'm not saying that. I'm not even so sure that Hill intentionally meant to be there. Remember, he's on older tires. That's why I didn't like them lining up behind him. How is he going to get to the outside? Austin Hill has no choice but to carry speed into turn 1 on older tires. There's no way it's going to stay in its lane the way the other cars are on fresh tires. That's why I didn't like them lining up behind him.
All right. Well, now you're the 7. So where are you going to line up now?
Whatever the front row is, whatever that
So you
car
line up
goes,
bottom front row.
wherever that 2 car goes, I'm going the other way. I want the front row. I want to take control of this. Period. End of story.
And
I thought I was giving him a hard question, but he had a pretty solid answer.
it was really quick, actually.
Like he's won a few of these things.
All right, Marty, what about the 7?
Justin Allgaier asks the spotter Eddie DeHunt, would the 2 be willing to give me the top lane now that his teammate is not a factor? Eddie DeHunt did ask that question, but I agree with you, Jeff. I think they are thinking front row, wherever that needs to be, but they would like the top, Kim.
And for Austin Hill, he told his team he tried to do everything he could on that last restart. Remember, he's got older tires, took those scuffs on the right side. The team trying to rally him, tell him we're proud of you. Still, anything can happen, trying to keep his head in the game, Dave.
Custer would hope to pick up a couple of positions here on the choose. Remember, it was a green-white checkered overtime last year that took Custer to the championship, Marty.
AJ Allmendinger did not get the start that he wanted on the last restart, Dave, but these short runs could play to their favor, sitting in 10th right now. But as crazy as that last one was, you never know what can happen here in the final few laps here.
Yeah, AJ's got stickers
That's one thing
too.
we've learned, Marty. You just never know what can happen. How many times have we seen it, Rick? You can't predict it.
And don't forget, Jesse Love in that 2 car, he's here to win a race.
Yes.
He has 1 career win. He wants to win this race. He's going to do what he has to. Every indication is that he is going to go to the top right here. He's up the racetrack behind the pace car. He wants the top. That gives him the best chance to win this race. That's where he goes. Allgaier won at the top. He said, "No, I'm here to win the race. You got to get it done from down there."
So we just got a great update from our 4 drivers that are racing for a drivers' championship this season. Rick, you've mentioned it a couple times. I know it's complicated for a fan that doesn't follow the Xfinity Series a lot. But the 20 car, the second car on the inside, driven by Eric Almirola, runs multiple drivers. But they're eligible for the Owners' Championship. They have won. They have gone through the same bracket as these other guys that continue to advance. I only say that because I think, as you mentioned, Jesse Love here to win a race. Well, Eric Almirola is here to win an Owners' Championship, and he is racing the 7 of Allgaier for the Owners' Championship.
And he's got fresher tires. Again, stickers for the 20, scuffs for the 7. The scuffs worked the first time around. Will they work, though, the second time around for Justin Allgaier as we head to this next restart? 2 laps to go. Our second attempt at an overtime finish here at Phoenix for the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship. Jesse Love still the control car in the restart as well. Also on fresher stickers outside of row 1. Through the restart zone, green flag is going to be back in the air. 2 up the hill a little bit. The 7 got a good launch on the bottom. Cole Custer's coming on the outside, door to door for the lead. Now 3 wide. Oh, Allgaier just squeezed the 98. The 2 up against the wall as they enter turn 1. And Austin Hill down on the bottom, 3 wide underneath Almirola, and Herb slides up after contact. Allgaier's got the lead down the back straightaway. And entering turns 3 and 4, Riley Herbst in line just behind him. Almirola in third. Rear tire rub on the left rear tire for the 98. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Final lap of the race. Justin Allgaier for the first time in his NASCAR Xfinity Series career trying to win a championship, while Riley Herbst in the 98 is trying to win the race. The 98 car's left rear tire's been smoking for quite some time. He's going to get to the inside. And as they race their way through turns 3 and 4, he's going to give it up to Herbst because he knows the championship wasn't on the line there. So Herbst is going to win the race, and Justin Allgaier is going to win the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship. And emotions pouring out from the driver, the number 7. Following the finish here, Almirola finishes in third, second in the owner's standings, just 1 position behind Allgaier. And we'll obviously go through that full field finishing order here soon. I don't know that Custer's very happy with the 7. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he squeezed the 2 and the 98 into the wall. I don't know if he knew they were 3 wide, but luckily enough for Riley Herbst, he was able to get back around and win the race. Despite getting squeezed into the wall, he had the fastest car all night long, survived these late race restarts still to get the win. 167 laps led today for Herbst. Allgaier led 4, finishes second, wins the title. One of those laps was coming to the white flag when he initially got to the lead. It has been a long time coming for Justin Allgaier. 7 times he's made the championship for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, yet to win the title. Finally gets it done. And now he is definitely going to be burning it down on the front stretch when he gets a chance. Got the double burnout going right now. Riley Herbst is burning it down on the back straightaway. Towards the turn 1 area of the track is where Justin Allgaier is burning it down. Oh, we got the double burnout. It wasn't a double SHR burnout, but owners and driver's title goes to the 7 of Allgaier, by the way. Junior Motorsports going to bring home the championship as well as the driver of the number 7. Two-tenths of a second margin of victory for Herbst over Allgaier. 0.6 of a second advantage at the line for Allgaier over Almirola. And for the driver standings, it looked to be about a 1.2 second difference between Allgaier in second. And then Cole Custer back in eighth, who will finish second in the driver standings. In the 8th place position, AJ Allmendinger was ninth, and Austin Hill in 10th. "27 cars finished on the lead lap. Our average race speed tonight, 88.21 miles per hour, 2 hours, 24 minutes, 20 seconds total time in the race. We went 13 laps past the scheduled distance with the 2 overtimes. 213 laps is what we finished off at. 7 cautions, 3 in stage 3, 2 in stage 2, the 2 stage breaks, and no cautions in stage 1.
Tires.
They will have another set of tires. Wayne Otten told us this, that they'll put on so that he can roll back into his championship celebration area.
That's what 14 years of trying looks like. It took Justin Allgaier that long to make it happen. 7 trips to the championship for, and tonight he finally does it. Jim Pullman and Justin Allgaier won an ARCA championship back in 2008. Here in 2024, they're NASCAR Xfinity Series champions. The boss man in with a hug. And tears in Justin Allgaier's eyes so many times tonight. Kelly Earnhardt Miller, as they like to say, the real boss at Junior Motorsports, in with a much deserved hug. LW Miller as well. And Dad Mike. Dorothy Mom's going to come in as well. Well, Justin, so many times tonight, I think everybody else in the field counted you out. Did you ever count yourself out tonight?
Yeah, like 10 times. You fans are awesome. I don't think I have a voice left because I was yelling, but I'm doing this a long time. And these people that are standing around me, I can't, there's no words. Rick Brandt, Sierra Brandt, Christy Brandt, the whole Brandt crew, Jarrett Hellmans, all of our partners, Hendrick Engine Shop, what an engine this weekend. Chevrolet. I mean, it's understated what they've done. My wife and my kids, they have given up so much for me to come do this job, and God's good, man. I said it all weekend. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what that looks like, but he's got a reason for everything, and tonight is truly that. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. It really is.
Harper and Willow coming in. His daughters. Oh, tears there as well. This weekend was a microcosm really of your entire season. So much speed, then problems, Justin, then you guys rally. Have you ever been through a weekend with such a range of emotions, high and low?
No. This team never gave up. Jim Coleman, his leadership skills are second to none, and he told me all weekend that we were gonna have a chance, and man, we tried to give it away every which way we could. I was as fast as Xfinity internet, but on pit road and on the racetrack where I needed to be. I just wanted to make it exciting for all you fans at home. I guess I don't know. Dale Jr., Kelly Earnhardt Miller, LW Miller, everybody at Junior Motorsports, I have all the men and women, all 5 of our race teams. I mean, just the effort that we put in. I'm at a loss for words, and we're gonna celebrate this one for sure. It's unbelievable, but I just cannot say thank you enough to everybody that's ever helped me in my career to get to this point. You're 7 times in the championship 4, and we finally got it done, and we're forever a NASCAR champion, and that there's no words like that one.
Enjoy some time with the family. We'll see you in a few minutes. We're going to hand out some hardware to Justin Allgaier, the 2024 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion.
Well, I saw how much it meant when you saw his family come up. Right now, he's hugging Harper and Willow. They have designed his helmet, and there's a horseshoe on there. That's there for a reason. His grandfather carried a horseshoe around with him all the time. The kids knew how important it was for Justin to have that horseshoe on the helmet. He just mentioned it. 7 tries, and in the 7th try, the lucky 7th try, with a horseshoe on the helmet, Justin Allgaier is a NASCAR Xfinity Series champion. The celebration continues from Phoenix Raceway. What a race it was. Riley Herbst won stage 1, won stage 2, and won the race. But in the end, the biggest trophy that was out there for the 4 championship contenders goes to the driver of the 7. He made the right decisions when it was the time to do it. And how emotional did we see Justin Allgaier get, the 38-year-old? Becomes the first driver from Illinois to win an Xfinity Series championship. Justin Allgaier, 2024 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion.
Regardless of what you think of how this exactly played out towards the end with the late caution, the multiple overtime restarts, and the restart itself, which led us to the checkered flag, a feel-good story in Justin Allgaier finally getting his first career NASCAR Xfinity Series title, age of 38, 14 full-time seasons in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, an Xfinity Series lifer, if you will, and most of those obviously at Junior Motorsports. And finally able to get the job done. A lot of tears, a lot of emotions. Him, his family, his team there in the victory celebration on the front stretch. More of that obviously still to come. We'll go through the full field finishing order this one. Still have to get an interview with the race winner as well at some point. Riley Herbst, our race winner here today, and is in victory lane, the traditional victory lane for this race. So congratulations to Riley as well. Dominated this one, leading 167 of the what ended up being 213 laps, with us again going past the scheduled distance. Excuse me, with multiple overtimes. Justin Allgaier in second, but wins the championship, Owners Championship by 1 position, Drivers Championship by 6 positions. Almirola finishes in third, Connor Zilic fourth, and Chandler Smith finishes fifth. Most top 5s on the season for Chandler Smith in the Xfinity Series. Jesse Love, front row on the restart, fell back to 6th. And that's where he ends up finishing, despite running in the top 3 for most of this final stage. Sheldon Creed ends up in 7th, Cole Custer 8th, so 2nd for him in the driver standings. And then 3rd and 4th in the driver and owner standings, the 16 to 21. AJ Allmendinger in 9th, Austin Hill 10th. Sam Mayer finishes 11th, Shane Van Gisbergen in 12th. William Sawalich from the pole finishes 13th. I don't think he led a lap today. Parker Kligerman in his final race as a full-time NASCAR competitor in any series ends up finishing 14th today. Sammy Smith in 15th, Jeb Burton in 16th. We'll be seeing him in the Cup race tomorrow. Daniel Dye 17th, Brandon Jones 18th, 19th for Dylan Lupton, and Jeremy Clements in 20th. Josh Bilicki 21st, Blaine Perkins 22nd, Ryan Sieg 23rd, Brendan Poole 24th, Ryan Ellis 25th, 26th for Matt DiBenedetto, Joey Gase 27th, Patrick Emerly first car lap down in 28th. Kyle Sieg finishes 29th, 30th for Garrett Smithley, also 1 lap down. 3 laps down for Leland Honeyman in 31st, brought out the first incident, which led us into the first overtime, I should say. Dawson Cram 4 laps down, finishing 32nd. Josh Williams 5 laps down, 33rd. Parker Retzlaff ended up DNFing when he brought out the second yellow for an overtime, pushed us into that final restart, of course. He ended up DNFing in this one following that crash. So 34th place finish for him. Jeffrey Earnhardt broke down in the final stage at lap 169, finishes 35th. Anthony Alfredo had some sort of a flat tire or a mechanical issue, pounded the outside wall at lap 152, bringing out a caution in stage 3. 36th place finish for him. 37th for Greg Van Olsen. Stephen Parsons 38. So in total 5 DNFs. 9 different drivers led at least 1 lap in the race today. 24 lead changes. And again, most laps led goes to Riley Herbst. He led 7 times for 167 laps. 4 laps led for a champion, Justin Allgaier tonight. 6 for Jesse Love in the number 2. 20 laps led for Sheldon Creed earlier in the race. Cole Custer led for 7 laps. Austin Hill for 5. 2 for Parker Kligerman, must have been during green flag pit stops, and 2 for Daniel Dye during green flag stops in stage 3 as well. And 7 cautions on this one. Average race speed of 88.21 miles per hour and 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 20 seconds total time in the race. So those are some of the other race statistics in this one. We'll stay here live until we get an interview with at least our race winner, Riley Herbst. I would hope that he will be the next interview. He deserves it. He won the race. Obviously, I understand, interviewing the champion, Justin Allgaier, first. As they get the trophy celebration and handout organized right now on the front stretch here at Phoenix. Hopefully, we get a word from Herbst sometime soon. Be sure to hit the like button. Well, hang on. Before that, here's Kim Kuhn with Cole Custer.
Got held up by the 21 on old tires. Is there anything you could have done differently in that moment?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think any driver can do something a little bit different. I tried to go high, I tried to go the middle, I tried to go everywhere I could, but he made his car pretty wide, which is his right. I mean, we're all going for a championship, right? So it just sucks that it ended up screwing us over worse than it did to 7, and he was able to slip by. But man, I can't say congratulations enough to Justin and all those guys. I mean, he's definitely a deserving champion. They were fast all night. I hate it came down to tire strategies and stuff like that, but. Man, I mean, I can't say enough about our group. Everything they've done over the last 2 years, JT, everybody in that shop worked so hard. I just wish we could have ended it out with a championship for SHR, but it just wasn't meant to be on those restarts. But I'll think about it. I'll try and find a way that somehow I could have done it better. But I can't thank Haas Automation for performance. Andy's frozen custard on the car this weekend. It stings for sure to be second, but man, I'm really happy for Justin. That was a long time going for him.
We'll see Cole Custer next year, Dave, in the Cup Series.
AJ Allmendinger was 3rd of the 4 contenders tonight. What kept you from being able to claim the championship today?
We just struggled all night, but first off, congrats to Justin and Dale Jr., that 7 crew. Justin's been working at it for a long time, so really cool that he got it. Wish we could have been at least in the fight for it, but can't thank Alex Johnson. My whole 16 group just fighting. We're off from the start, loose the whole time. I didn't know what else to do to try to make it faster. So just disappointing that we never really were in the fight. Thought maybe strategy-wise, we could kind of steal it maybe, or at least the team championship. But just can't thank Matt, Chris, and all the men and women at College Racing enough just for giving me these chances. Celsius, all of our partners. Pretty disappointing. It was definitely not lack effort. I don't honestly know what else we can do to be more prepared. Just wasn't good enough for him. So disappointing, but proud to be here at least.
Thanks, AJ. Rick?
Remember, AJ Allmendinger had the longest to prepare. Won at Vegas, had a couple weeks that they knew they were part of this Phoenix championship hunt. For those of you tuning in for Utah State and 21st ranked Washington State, that game will kick off on News Nation. And to find News Nation, go to joininn.com.
Well, Rick, I want to tell you, it's been a great 10 years. Really enjoy working with you. You're a good person, great friend. Been a lot of fun.
Love you, brother.
380 something races, Rick. I had no idea what I was doing. I'm still not sure I do. When I came up here 10 years ago, you taught us a lot about television. It's been a great ride. Some great calls. We've seen some amazing races, and look forward to some time on the golf course, you and me, in the months and years to come.
Well, apparently playing golf with you is good because DJ got a hole in one last week with you,
Huh.
the foursome. So maybe it'll work out for me.
No way.
What a good time it has been watching Justin Allgaier grab that championship. Let's go to pit road. Kim.
Austin Hill comes home fourth in the championship standings, but it wasn't for lack of trying. You guys threw everything at it there at the end, strategy-wise, took some big gambles to keep yourself in contention. Where did you guys miss it today, though?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question to answer right now. We just need to go back and look at it, see where it went wrong. Stage one, we didn't have a winning race car, but we were better than the other three. I felt like, well, the 7 was really good. He drove through the field, so I'm not sure if I was better than him on stage one, but kind of felt free in stage one. Then we tightened up, and for whatever reason, when we tightened up, it just started over slipping the fronts, but it wasn't helping the rear grip any. Like I still was loose on entry, so yeah, maybe I just need to ask for the car, our Bennett Chevrolet, to just stay on the free side all day. Might have got us behind there on adjustments, but yeah. And then we came in, and with the 7 and put on stickers. We drove up through there, and I saw the 7 and the 00 fighting it out, and I knew we were running out of laps. But I thought if they got into battling, I could have had a shot because we were running some decent lap times there. And when the caution came out, I knew we were going to be at a tire deficit, and we had to try something. We put the right side tires on it, and just got down into 1, and I drove as deep as I could, just trying to protect from out back, and overslipped the front tire, started sliding, and then I saw the 00 trying to get to my right rear, and I didn't want him to get to my outside, so kind of like slid up the track, and then he got in the back of me, and then coming off the corner, I was sideways, and it allowed the 7 to get by both of us just because I couldn't put the throttle down. But a lot of hard racing out there. I want to say congrats to the 7 team. Justin Allgaier has been doing this for a really long time. I think this was his 7th playoff appearance, and to see him finally get it done, I'm very happy for him. I'm happy for his family. He's a great guy to be around. So great competitor. Been fun racing with him all year. So hats off to Junior Motorsports for getting it done.
Well, and it's been a 14-year haul to try to get the hardware that Justin Allgaier is about to receive. Let's go to Marty.
Rick, we have a whole host of people up here on the stage ready to celebrate, including Steve O'Donnell, Chief Operating Officer of NASCAR. Wayne Auden, the retiring Director of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Matt Lederer, Vice President of Brand Partnerships and Activation with Comcast. And Steve, I'm gonna let you do the honors.
Thank you. Unbelievable Junior Motorsports, Dale, Kelly, Justin. Couldn't ask for a better champion. I've never seen a guy persevere year in and year out, stay after it. I know this was a tough weekend, but this describes everything about you. You stayed with it. You won. You represent this sport. You are NASCAR. We thought it was only appropriate that a guy who's retiring for us, who's a legend in the sport, gives it to the next legend in the Xfinity Series. So congratulations, buddy.
Kisses all over. 14 years. The family gets to kiss the trophy. 14 years, was it worth the wait?
Understated, yeah. This race team right here, Dale, Kelly, LW, every man and woman that works this race shop, Jim Pullman, this guy right here, unbelievable. Rick Brandt, I mean, the guy stuck with me through thick and thin. We've had a lot of bad years, and 2 years ago, I sat down to dinner, and on Friday night, I told him if we won the championship, I was retiring on the spot. Uh-oh. Yeah, my wife said you can't do that, and I signed a 2-year contract a couple of months ago. And I'll be honest with you, I thought I'd have different emotions up here. I thought I'd be ready to be done, but man, it just makes me fired up to come back next year and go try to win it again. I cannot say enough thank you to Wayne, to everybody that's a part of this group. All of the competitors. I mean, the Final Four this year, we had such a great year, and we battled each other. I mean, there's just no words, man. It's I don't have a voice. I lost it because I was yelling, going around the racetrack at just how excited I was. But you know, I wanted to win the race and the championship. But man, I'll take a championship all day and run second. The fans are amazing. You know, the industry folks, all the media. It's it's unbelievable, man. It truly is. And you know, we moved to the CW on broadcast, and you fans pay a premium for these tickets. I just wanted to give you all a show tonight, speed on pit road and free-star violations and all that fun stuff. But I'd have been okay with it being a little easier than it was.
We're going to let Justin Allgaier save a little bit of voice. Let's talk to Dale Earnhardt Jr., the winning car owner. I know you wanted this for him personally, maybe more than anyone who's ever driven for you, because he has put in so much.
Yeah, he has. He's worked so hard. He's gave so much to our team. Thank you, buddy. He's just done so much for us. If there's a, you know, an image in a dictionary of a model race car driver, it's him. He's been incredible for our partners. Anyone that's worked with him on the partner side loves him. He goes above and beyond there, and he drives hard. Sometimes too hard, but I have a driver like that going forward all the time and pushing as hard as he can. He's a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun over the years, but I badly wanted him to get this championship because he's a champion. He deserves it.
You were funny because when he mentioned the retirement word, you like pulled me aside, like, oh, wait, what? You got to be relieved that he's like, okay, I'm not going to do that.
I wouldn't blame him if he did. What a way to go out. But I know he's got a little bit left in the tank, and we're going to have some more fun. We're going to win some more races. But this is going to be a great celebration. I can't wait to see the rest of the company. Everybody works so hard at Junior Motorsports to be competitive, and this is a tough series.
And it's great of Austin Hill to come by and congratulate him as well. Justin Allgaier, the 2024 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion.
Good crowd around the stage there. And again, it's Allgaier's night for his championship. But we have to remember that he didn't win the race.
Oh, we finally got Riley
Let's hear
Herbst.
from the race winner. He's with Dave.
Took a while.
Well, let's jump in with Riley in the midst of the high fives and congratulations. You seem to be coming out for the big moments. The first win, right in front of your hometown crowd. The next win, Indianapolis. And then, with everybody watching, you win on championship weekend as a non-playoff driver, Riley. What does this mean?
Yeah, I've been telling people since Daytona that if we got to Phoenix, we'd be the champion, and everybody would look at me like I was crazy. But that's gone now. We didn't make it, but I'm just so proud of all these guys, everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing. It was a really tough week last week. We had a lot of emotional people at the shop. This place was home for me for 4 years. It's built me to what I am now, and that's a winning race car driver in the Xfinity Series. And yeah, I'm just so proud of Davin, all the guys on the 98 team. It's been a hell of a run the last 4 years. Thank you so much to every man and woman at Stewart-Haas Racing. I love you guys all so much. Monster Energy, Mitch Covington, I hope you're doing well. This one's for you, and I'm gonna go win the Baja 1000 with my cousins next week too. I'm proud to go do that, but I'm so excited for Stewart-Haas Racing, Monster Energy, Terrible Herbst, everybody that supports me, and we'll see what next year holds.
What a way to bring it home. Riley Herbst, the winner tonight at Phoenix.
All smiles there. Again, a reminder coming up next, college football at Utah State at 21st ranked Washington State.
All right, that's going to wrap up tonight's NASCAR Xfinity Series race coverage. We'll be live again tomorrow for our NASCAR Cup Series Championship race at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, beginning with our pre-race show. Obviously, that all in the same stream and cohesion with the actual race coverage, and then we'll have a post-race show as well, breaking down the championship and much more. Got a champion to hand out of our own right in the Fantasy League tomorrow as well. So, big day on the channel tomorrow. Big day for me as a Ryan Blaney fan again tomorrow as he tries to go for back-to-back titles. So can't wait for it. Can't wait to see you guys there. One more live commentary stream still to go, but that's going to wrap up the Xfinity Series portion of the 2024 NASCAR season here on the channel. We will have full Xfinity Series coverage start to finish next season and beyond yet again. So Hope to see you back for that. Thanks for everybody that tuned in for the entirety of championship weekend thus far through the first 4 streams. Our doubleheader again today, qualifying earlier, Xfinity race right now, and the 2 streams yesterday, Cup practice and the Truck Series race late last night. So one more to go, and it always sucks, when you get to the end of the season because it's the end. But we'll be back and better than ever tomorrow, and then back and better than ever again, obviously, next season as well. Greatly appreciate it for all your support. Thank you for allowing us to get to the like goal of 100 likes on the stream. We're at 111, I believe, as of right now. Be sure to definitely hit that like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. See you guys tomorrow afternoon. Have a good rest of your Saturday night, everyone.